nights. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. And come talk some Eagles with us. Is it time to panic? We'll talk about it.
Oh, my God! Oh, my
I'm embarrassed!
He's flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by, see you, Frank. We are brought to you by FanUp.
Oh, man. That dude is just struggling tonight.
Yep, don't want to be his dog tonight.
Yep.
Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by FanUp, and FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, daily NBA contests, and more. Make sure you use our promo code A2D. You get $50 right at sign up. You can download FanUp right on the Apple Store. As always, Noah Eaton down below, Greg Milanovic, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. We thank you for being here. Like I always say, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Stick around for a while. All right? Stick around. Enjoy yourself here. At the end of every Wednesday night show, we do our locks of the week. We'll give you those. We'll give you the standings for our locks of the week. We also go through NFL Week 11 predictions against the spread. So we give you the whole slate of games. We run through them, and Greg gives his touchdown parlay every week, which is not hit. So you can just avoid that this week. There's nothing to see here.
You can avoid my locks too while we're at it. I mean, we're not talking about a good percentage here. You know what I mean? So
no, we are not. We are definitely not. Our main topic at hand is going to be Eagles versus Colts preview. And that is brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Make sure you like them on the web or all your social media platforms. Specialized Physical Therapy is where you can find them. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com is his website. He's our doc. Make Him Yours. Our poll question for tonight is fitting. We should be concerned about the current state of the Eagles heading into Week 11. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, we're supposed to be on Twitter, waiting for that. But everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow. Join the conversation tonight. You can see your comments on our new program here right on the side. Love it. Loving to see the people. Love seeing your guys' comments. Love being able to have them all for everybody to see, unless you're a jackass. And then we would, obviously remove it and go to singular comments for a little bit. But to the poll, we should be concerned about the Eagles, about the current state of the Eagles heading into Week 11. Sorry, agree or disagree? Oh my God, completely disagree. It's not even it's not even a debate. It's not even a conversation. It's not even up for debate. If anybody actually agrees, I might say it tonight. And I love everybody on the show, but you're a moron. You're a moron. Could there be maybe little things that we'd like to see fixed? Sure, but I want to riddle the people. We are 8-1. I'll say it again. I know Nate on Birds of the Feather tomorrow night's going to have a rebuttal of this, and I don't care because I'm going to keep it real with the people. If you thought for this football team, better yet, any football team was going 17-0, you're a moron. You're an idiot. You probably should never talk football again because it's really unrealistic, okay? And to want that is sort of weird to me because I don't play for undefeated seasons. I don't wake up to lose, but I sure as hell don't play for undefeated seasons. I play for the end goal, and the end goal is Broad Street, and the end goal in this city will always be Broad Street. So regular season's cute, but are you ready to play when the lights get really bright? When I talk about this preseason into the regular season all the time, right? Okay, that's cute. That's cute. What do you do when the lights turn on week 1? Okay, regular season's cool. You want to play good football. But what do you do when the lights get the brightest? That's what we're waiting to see, just like we're talking about the Sixers. That's what we're waiting to see. Okay, how do you react? How do you play as a football team? So to be concerned about an 8-1 team is so outlandish to me. It's comical. It is comical. And if somebody in the chat's like, well, our run defense, Tom, it's concerning. Thanks. Okay? But it's also something that they know they need to fix. And when you know you need to fix something, usually it gets cleaned up. All right? Usually it gets cleaned up. And we have the pieces to fix things. I don't love our defense coordinator, but that's a story for another day. But we have the pieces to fix things here. So what are we concerned about, guys? What's the goal of the season? We're concerned at 8-1? Like, lose next week, the concern can start being a little more full court press, okay, or half court press. Pick you up at half court, all right? Lose 3 weeks in a row, and then we can really start having the, oh, man, I'm concerned. This doesn't look good. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I didn't want them to lose a game, right? Of course, I'm an Eagles fan. I expected a loss. I didn't know where, so I didn't say, oh, when they're going to lose to Washington on Monday night. No, I picked the Eagles like I do every week. But at the end of the day, if you're like surprised they lost to Washington, you're a moron. Okay, I didn't think you're a moron. Like, you could be surprised by the way they lost. Mm-hmm. It's different than being surprised that they lost. Seriously. Now, if you think that, I'll leave you guys with this, and then you guys please go, right? Because my rant's over. But like, again, you go to Indy and you struggle and you don't look good, then you start having conversations. But at the end of the day, don't you want to see how they respond? Like, it's one loss. So let's see how they respond before we start hitting the panic meter and saying, oh, man, this looks like a one-and-done football team. Calm down. Relax. We waited for this. Let's see if we can go figure it out next week against a good rushing team, all right, and probably a pretty good defense, in my opinion. Can we figure it out, get it right, and how do we play? And we also have a quarterback that's in the MVP conversation. So with the injuries, et cetera, can he pick this football team up? We'll find out. Go ahead, boys. Agree or disagree?
Go ahead, Ralphie.
I'll go.
Okay, no, go right ahead. You want me to go?
Who's got it?
I'll go. I'll go next. I'll do real quick, and we'll jump to you.
It's the same rotation every week.
All right, real quick. So Noah can go because it's the fucking Noah show. Sorry for cursing out there. But I disagree. Okay, I disagree as well with Tommy. Listen, obviously losing at home on a national stage after 9 weeks of football or 10 weeks of football of everybody piping you up, and you think this was going to be a cakewalk from stepping in and playing Washington with obviously Heineke at the quarterback position and stuff like that. But we all knew this was we thought we could have had a chance of losing this game. We said that last week, right? Divisional game, they're always the toughest ones to play. But to be concerned after just one loss after 10 weeks of football is I just don't get that. The only thing that rubbed me the wrong way, or at least throughout the game Monday night, was the run defense was horrendous. I mean, horrendous. Couldn't stop a nosebleed, right? And hopefully,
well, bigger than that, down conversions were worse.
Oh, especially the third and nines and the 3rd and 14s, and they're converting with and it's not like these guys like McLaurin was open on half. I mean, covered on half of those too. It seems like he was wide open throughout the game as well. So that didn't help as well. And then obviously the offense only having at one point, what was it, like 6 minutes of total possession time through the first half, or going into halftime, which is always not great as well. So. For me, but I'm not concerned at all. It's one loss. We all knew it was going to come at one point, and obviously, it took, a divisional game at home on Monday night, obviously on national television, for that to happen. So, I understand the overreactions.
I agree, Ralph. Well, the overreactions are ridiculous, but that's what fans do. So I try not to get too worked up over it. I just keep driving. Noah.
Your turn.
Look, I'm not concerned, but I'll say this. I am annoyed. I mean, that's a divisional game at home. All right. Now, I get it. Washington looked like trash the first few weeks of the season, and they are a different football team right now, and they are playing better ball. But, the way we got dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage really annoyed the hell out of me more than anything. The bottom line is you got to stop the run, and you got to be ready to play on both sides of the ball. I do have some concerns with special teams. because, boy, they look special, all right, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, they've looked below average at best throughout much of the season, and I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass down the stretch or in the postseason. So, the special teams could use some great improvement. Jake Elliott aside, he's been fine, but our kick coverage unit on our return units are absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't even know what Britt Cunvey or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know what he's still doing on this damn football team. All right.
I'll tell you if you want to listen. Would you like to hear real quick, and then you can continue down your negative rant here? Is he catches the ball? Yeah, he catches the ball. That's all he does. He catches the ball. To them, it's like, well, we don't want to turn the football over, so we'll put the guy who we think catches it the best, and then runs into a brick wall. It's literally he looks for a brick wall. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry.
No, and I hear you, and I was the other answer, I guess, would have been we don't want to put Devontae Smith back there for obvious reasons. We don't want him getting hurt. All right, but I mean, some of my concerns or small concerns lie in his health. I mean, Goddard being out for at least 4 weeks, I think that might change the complexion of the offense a bit. And how dinged up is A.J. Brown? I mean, honestly, those are my biggest concerns. And if they're able to come back healthy sooner rather than later, I think we'll be fine going down the stretch run here.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'll piggyback right with Noah, not necessarily with all the negatives. And Tom, I'll lighten up a little bit.
I guess.
I'm sorry, Greg. Do you want to go? Are we going that order today? Are we going around in a circle?
I mean, we usually do.
It looked like it.
Actually, Greg,
I think we all agree that Jordan Davis back in the lineup sooner rather than later will be a big boost too.
Well, at the end of the day, you want to be healthy when the playoffs start. That's the biggest goal of every NFL team. Is the healthiest team is usually outside of 2017. But the healthiest team is usually a team cutting the nets down at the end of the year. You got to be good, but the healthy groups are the ones that are left standing.
Yeah, I mean, do the injuries concern me a little bit? Sure. Yeah, it seems like a week span losing Jordan Davis, Avonte Maddox, Dallas Goedert, all of them for multiple games. That's something you look at and you're like, that's not great. That's not something I really want to see, especially after, a primetime loss on Monday Night Football, against a divisional opponent. No, that's not great. But like we talked about, right after they lost the game on Monday, if anyone's panicking after one loss, then you either enjoy panicking or you really don't watch football that much. And like we've talked about also, if you go back and you look at what our expectations were for this team before the year, a majority of the fan base either had 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. So for everybody, I was in the 11 win, pack. So I'm expecting five of those games, 5 losses. So I would be an absolute fool to be like, oh, it's time to panic after part 1 of 5, right? If they're going to end up being the exact team I expect them to be. I think they're going to be better than that. But listen, if you lose to Indianapolis on the road, I get it. They have Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan's better than Ellinger. You have Jeff Saturday, who looks like he's better than Frank Reich, or at least whoever was calling plays before. So I get it. They're coming into a game with nothing to lose, Indianapolis is, against a team that has some injuries and just got exposed, even though we didn't get exposed on Monday Night Football. But everyone wants to use the word exposed on Monday Night Football. If you throw out another clunker, you lose, this Sunday, come back to us on Monday, and then maybe the concern will be a little bit more. But until then, I just think it's one of those weeks where nothing really goes right. But the Bills had that times 20 this past week, right? They gave up a huge lead, and that was their third game where it's kind of okay, what the hell's going on? The loss of the damn Jets, even though the Jets are a solid football team. The Vikings, who everyone wants to say they're the crown jewel of the team, or the crown jewel of the league, well, we blew them out in week 2. So to me, it's one of those years where it's the NFL. We always talk about, things like this happen. So I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, they absolutely happen. Like we talked about on Monday night. Like, I just don't want trends. So I'm a trend guy. Now, I think we're getting overreacted. We're overreacting to the run defense against Washington. I do. Now, are we overreacting to how we stopped the run without Jordan Davis and those numbers? No. But in terms of this game, we're overreacting to the run. We're overreacting to 3.2 yards a carry or 3.5 a carry. When you talk about it as football teams, right, around the NFL, just to riddle people this, okay? This is inside info. When you talk around the NFL, their goal as a team is like 3.2, 3.5 to 3.2. You sort of want to hold teams under there as your overall season average. That's a good number to have. That was really our overall number with Jordan Davis, right? If you don't think anybody's ever going to break a run or have good runs, I think you're misguided. So it didn't come down to them running the football extremely well versus us. What it came down to is they got themselves in third and shorts, etc., and they were able to convert those. That's the difference. So our biggest problem and our biggest takeaway isn't necessarily our run defense. It's, can you get off the field on third down? I mean, that's also around the NFL. They all talk about that. So they didn't get gashed. It's not like they gave up 5.5 a carry. And you're like, oh, my God. Like, yeah, they got to clean things up back there or in the middle there for sure without Jordan. But they're also not, like, consistently getting exposed by the run game. What happened is we scored points so early in this football game that it almost like – and then they went on long drives that it was a weird first half. But you can't allow, like Ralphie said, you can't allow a team that you only possess the ball for 6 minutes. First, you had 14 points in those 6 minutes, but then your defense has to get off the field. And everybody talking, and then Greg, please go. And everybody's talking out there like, oh, we didn't run it enough. Guys, how many plays did we run? Can we run it more? Sure, I agree.
We had a possession in the first half that lasted 27 seconds. 27 seconds in the first half before halftime. Come on, man.
So what are we supposed to do? So we did our job. Like, essentially, we just didn't offensively when we had our possessions. But we are a run-based team, in my opinion, for sure. I'm not going to waver from that. But it's not like we can't throw the football. It's not like we don't have weapons to throw the football. So it's not like Nick Sirianni did something egregious like I hear the masses talking about. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, we should have. It would have been nice for us to go on a long drive, but it takes two to tango in the NFL. So your defense has to do their job at some point through the first 3 quarters, and they did not. And their job is, you want to bend and not break. I got you. Get off the goddamn field on third downs, because that's where I judge defensive coordinators. That's where I judge defenses. All the rest is hand jobs. That's all the rest it is. And it's hand jobs without the happy ending if you get off the field on third down, right? Hold teams to field goals. Come on, guys. This is football 101. So what are we overreacting to besides, hey, got to get off the field on third downs? That's Captain Obvious talk. So let's see if we do that this week. If we think Jonathan Taylor's not going to run the football well, then think what you want to think. Right? We're not the 85 Bears. But what did we do so well the first 8 weeks? We got off we got off the field on third goddamn down.
And
that's the difference.
Turnover battle.
And won a turnover battle. And we didn't this week, obviously.
And we talked about on Sunday, right? Everything we talked about on Sunday was the exact opposite of what actually happened.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I completely disagree to this poll, right? I mean, I woke up Monday, Eagles are in first place. I woke up on Tuesday, Eagles are still in first place. So we're good. You know what I mean? Like, even everything that went on in that game, you still had an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like a couple plays here and there. I don't even want to get into to the rest. They were atrocious. But even just a couple plays here and there, right? Quez stays down, right? Or just doesn't fumble. I mean, that was huge right there. We still had opportunities to play, to win the game despite everything that went on. Right. And that's when you look at it, we did get blown out. We did get blown out. Are there certain things that are concerning? Sure, whatever. That's going to happen every time you lose the game, right? Because you're going to micromanage everything that you just watched, right? But I mean, same thing. Like I said, Tom, we talked about a lot of this on Sunday too, before the game, right? We all kind of thought sometime in the next couple weeks a loss was coming, right? Did we all didn't think it was going to be Washington, but we also weren't naive to think that it couldn't happen. You know, we thought maybe a road game after a Monday nighter might be it, right? I'd rather lose to Washington than lose to the Fighting Jeff Saturdays. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So now we lose. You know that in that locker room they get maybe not pissed off, but they get in there. They understand. Hey, we gotta be better, right? I thought Nick was really blunt in the press conferences, and it was refreshing to hear it. Right? Hey, we sucked. We didn't play very well. You love hearing that from your coach. At least I do. There's no sugarcoating it. And they're like, let's get back to work and let's get back on that train. Ryan, you're absolutely right. Whether you had 4, 5, 6 losses headed into the year, this is one, right? And you could say we won games we should have lost early in the year, right? So it's the ebb and flow of the NFL. Zero concern right now. Absolutely zero concern about anything. I think we bounced back. And like I said, the biggest takeaway is we still had a chance to win that game despite everything happening.
Yeah, you're not wrong in terms of, real quick, you're not wrong in terms of, I had them at this. So if they get to that, it's like, okay, right? Because at the end of the day, and this isn't a concern thing. It becomes a concern if they tackle a couple more. But at the end of the day, expectations change. Right, for all of us as season goes on. So you go 8-0. I'm not going to revert back to being like, yo, I'm cool with 12. No. Not saying you guys are. Not saying you're saying that.
No.
I'm not. Agree. That's not what I hold my hat on. I hold my hat on 1 week. And every week's a different week, right? And 1 week you got beat. So just don't go get beat again, right? You can play 500 ball through the rest of the year, and it's still okay, right? But in reality, you want to now, knowing you had 8 wins through 8 weeks, you got to get to 14. That is your number. You better get to 14. I don't think you're going 17-0. You're allowed to lose 3 games now, right? Because you think about it, you're on the back end of your schedule after week 8, right? So week 9 starts like your second half. Well, your second half, now you're 0-1. And we know how important it is to play well down the stretch come playoff time, right? So I think our expectations, that's all my point is, our expectations need to change to where we should all be thinking where I had 12, I had 11, etc. We all bumped up now. So we now have to change that and say, well, what are we at now? 14-3, 15-2, 16-1. I'm sure some people want, but and after you say what you're going to say, Ryan, I want to ask that question to you guys on where your number is now changed to.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back to this, the Monday's game real quick, and we talked about it right afterwards, pretty much anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Didn't really have the ball in the first half.
Yeah.
You had some dimes, and absolute, some really good throws by Jalen Hurts. One A.J. Brown was in his hands. Whether you want to say that was an error by A.J. Brown or a good play by their defender, I'm good with either way. Either way, it ends up being an interception instead of a big gain there. The Quez Watkins play, explains itself. That's a game. Everyone talks about like, oh, he's in the end zone there. No, even if he just goes down, right? That actually plays into your hands even more if he doesn't get it into the end zone in that time, because then you can really, kill the clock down to, within the 2-minute warning. And I'm sure people will be like, oh, how do you know if he gets in the end zone? Well, if you go through what they've done in the red zone all season, Jalen Hurts in that offense has been nearly perfect. I don't think he's thrown any picks in the red zone, obviously. The run offense has been really good, et cetera, et cetera. So that was the play of the game. And you could argue there was like 7 plays of the game, whether it was the Goddard fumble, whether it was obviously the Brandon Graham stuff, whether it was obviously the A.J. Brown interception, roughing the punter in the first quarter. I mean, there was literal you could do an entire show just based off of what went wrong in that game. And meanwhile, you still had a legitimate chance to win going away in that fourth quarter.
If Quez was a 6th-round pick, he probably catches that and goes to the house and doesn't fall down, right? And that's the difference from a 6th-round pick and an elite talents. Elite talents catch that and go, right? There ain't no reason. What are you falling down for? First of all, what are you falling down for to begin with?
It was a perfect ball. It was a
perfect ball. Run through the football. You were taught at the youngest ages, Pee-wee football. If I went to coach Pee-wee football right now, I'm going to tell you to run through the reception, right? When you play backyard football, are you catching and trying to fall down? No, you're trying to make a play. So the fall down stuff is in the end zone, on the sidelines, right, etc. Or where you got to lay out for a football. You didn't have to lay out for that football, dude. So how are you on the ground is my question.
Can I tell you what and you're absolutely right. What I think, the reason why I think he went to the ground is because he tried to catch the ball with his body and not just, it's almost like he didn't trust his hands.
He didn't run through it. He didn't run through it. When you're chest protector.
He tried to secure it with his chest and arms instead of just grabbing it with his hands, and therefore he goes down. And listen, like I forget which freaking post-game show. It might have been the one on NBC. Like they were like, oh, well, he doesn't know that defender's there. It doesn't. You're taught ball security. First off, you should know the defender's there because you're not the only person on the field. It's just little things like we kept talking about.
He sure does know. It's such a terrible analysis right there.
It is.
Oh yeah, like I said it.
You're the back guy. You absolutely know there's someone coming after your
ass. There's actually two.
Yeah.
There's the corner and the safety. So there's actually two.
Yeah, I said it on Monday. Like, okay, he gets up, and immediately when he gets up, he's trying to move the football, and I'm sure he was going to go secure it. Right. I said, well, he doesn't get a pass because there's, like you said, there's other people in the field. I said the only thing is he didn't see the guy coming from behind him right away. But that's on a young wide receiver needing to understand the game. Like, you don't pick up a football and run like this ever. You pick up a football and immediately secure it. So he did two boneheaded things where, again, you can catch it with your pads if that's how you want to operate. But at the end of the day, you still got to run through the football. And at no point on that catch did he try to run through it. He wanted to make sure I got to catch this, which I'm good with at times, right? But that's a play where that's a house call, dude. Stay on your feet, keep running. You got an easy touchdown there. Instead, you fall down, you get up, and you fumble football. And that play just dictated where and how that game was going and how that was going to end.
And the fact, too, that as well, that was the play after Goddard fumbled. So that was two straight possessions of fumbles back to back. Back to back.
And what have we done so well, Ralphie, all year?
And holding on to the football, not fumbling.
Didn't do that, right?
No,
and that was after
the
defense was tightening up in the second half, giving us a chance to stay in the game.
Yeah, CJ. Yeah,
now, don't get me wrong. We didn't play well defensively.
That was the same thing as well when CJ got the pick, turned everything around. CJ got the pick, and then the fumble happened.
703 Ebanks. We appreciate your comment. We're not picking on Quez. We're talking football. So if like as a coach, I'm telling him, hey, you got to run through that football. And if you don't run through that football, when you get up, you need to secure. Is that picking on him? Like, I'm not taking a shot at you. I'm just asking a serious question. Like, if I was his coach, this is what I'm telling him. This is how we talk. This is how we operate. I operate in coach mode sometimes, right? And that's how that play needs to be made. That's not picking on him. I'm telling you, he's a 6th-round pick, and your expectations on a 6th-round pick should be what it is. But again, he has big playability, all right? Okay? And he's got electric speed. So I think he's an asset to us, and we need him. But when you get opportunities, right? He had a big 3rd down catch, and I commented on that Monday, which was a big catch, right? And then he has that football where, hey, if he makes that play, and holds on to the football, it's a huge play. So it's not picking on him.
Yeah. Even if it is picking on it, it's a huge play in the game.
It costs us the football game. It's
huge.
Simple.
Picking on guys is wanting them out of town.
That alone didn't, but you're right. In that moment, that was a huge play that probably we win the game. If I come out
and say trade a guy, that's picking on him.
Yeah.
If I come out and be critical of your play or your decision making or the result of something, that's just fans having conversations.
Yeah, or picking on him is where Quez Watkins has a 3-touchdown game, but we don't talk with the 3 touchdowns. We talk about with the 1 drop. That's picking on him. Quez Watkins had 2 catches, and one of them ended up being a fumble. That's not picking on him. That's just recapping the game and being like, hey, he's had very limited expectations, very limited opportunities because of the talent ahead of him. He had an opportunity to be like, hey, I'm that guy when you need me to. Instead, you put the ball on the floor, literally.
And then that goes into trust, and there's so many things that go in with that. Not that they're not going to trust them, but there's a lot of factors go into that. So back to what we were going to talk about is we were talking about how your expectations throughout a year need to change, one way or the other. It's either negative expectations because you're not playing the football you thought you would, or in this case, where you're 8-1. And nobody had us 8-1 right now. So now knowing if you had us at 10 wins, 11, 12, 13, I want the people out there to let us know, where are your expectations now? You know, and I think, like I said earlier, I'm like 14. I think 14-3 ends up being a really good year, because then you're still playing good football in the second half of the year, right? So I don't know what your record would be second half. You were 8-0. So you got to get to 14 now. So 6
down the stretch.
6-2. So, you know, I even think, you know, after this, Craig, right? We're 7 after this.
Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants,
6-2.
Bears, Dallas,
6-2, yeah.
Saints, Giants.
Yeah, very
games?
doable. Very doable.
Okay. Yeah.
Very doable, but it's a lot of division, right?
And this
So
is the football team that we think we know. Yeah. And this is the football team that we think we know who they are. Then 6-2 is very doable. Very, very doable.
I'm looking at the schedule here, and this is why, like, we always talk about how, like, people who break down schedules in May, like, you just stop doing it. We're not telling you, like, not have fun, but just stop, like, acting like it's gospel. Because 3 weeks ago, all of us, justifiably so, would look at the remaining, 7-8 weeks of our schedule, and we would have been like, oh, that's Kate. Oh, there's no concerns there. Where's the L? Now you're looking at it just based off of trends the last couple of weeks, and you're like, oh, well, if the Packers figure it out, they could be interesting just because Aaron Rodgers. The Titans, they're obviously very good, and they have Derrick Henry to exploit our horrendous run defense, which everyone wants to talk about. The Giants twice, who are way better than we thought. The Bears, who have one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL in Justin Fields. Dallas on the road. So there's some games where it's like, that could get a little weird. Now, am I predicting all of them to be losses? No, absolutely not. But it's just funny how, what was it, 4 weeks ago? The thing in Vegas was, the Eagles are favored in every game for the remainder of the season. It's just funny how it varies week by week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still think that they're probably favored in every one of those football games, though.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, they definitely are. But
I'll tell you what, that Christmas Eve game against Dallas might be for the division.
Well, it might be, but you have tough games prior to that, and you got physical football teams. I'm still not sold on the Packers, so I don't. That game doesn't matter to me. Still not sold on the Colts' little cute story last weekend. The Vegas stinks. Okay, stinks. So I'm not sold on that thing. When you look at the Giants, they're tough. They're tough. I get it. Knock it off. That's a minimum split, right? Minimum split. We're going through it, right? Minimum split. Tennessee, I think we beat Tennessee. They're tough, and I get it. And I love Vrabel.
They're coming here, right? They're coming here this year, right?
Yeah, they're coming here. And Vrabel's to me an awesome head coach, but and it seems always ready to play. But that's a win. They don't throw the ball enough. They're not even with Ryan Tannehill. They have no legitimate threats right now. They're okay. They're tough. They're going to play you physical.
Yeah, we have their legitimate threat, AJ Brown,
and hopefully he's healthy. So I still think the minimum is 5-3, right? 5-3, because if you look at you have Dallas again. Just hypothetically say that's a loss, and you split the Giants. No, I know you're going to get upset. But then you split the Giants. That
would be a tough one.
So then, but hear me out. I'm just trying to find losses because you already beat them once. So and then you say you split the Giants,
and it's on the road. That
it's
Dallas
on the road.
Game.
So where's the other loss? Like, where could be the other loss that would be they're 13-4 and they went 5-3 over that stretch.
Either the Bears, Titans, or the other Giants game. Because
Bears are atrocious, so I don't care. Yeah. That's a cute story. We got a quarterback who can run too. That he doesn't do anything for me yet.
The Bears are horrendous.
It's not about Justin Fields because he's so young. He's so young.
They gave up a double-digit lead to the Lions last week, so I'm good.
And plus, when you look at some of these teams that we have coming up, where's our strength right now of our defense is our secondary, right? Our back half. Right, so the Packers, right? Really the Packers going to need to throw the ball to win. Well, hey, thanks for going into what we want, right? That's what we want. Same thing with the Bears. If we could contain Justin Fields, who's he going to throw to, right? You're gonna have Slay or Bradbury on Claypool,
Yeah.
you know, and then the other
Yeah.
guys on Mooney, right? And same thing, you know, with like I said, the Packers. You had, you know, Christian Watson and Alan Lazard. They're all cute, right?
Yeah.
Tom, when you bring it down like that, you can only, in my mind, you can only conceivably see 2 losses, unless you throw a dud, unless that last game against the Giants of the year means nothing.
Which you could.
You know, which you very could. That could potentially be your 3rd loss. Because I completely agree. I don't see you losing to the Packers at home Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I don't see you losing to the Colts. I don't see you losing
to
the Titans at home.
We saw a loss potentially to the Colts, but that was with a win this week, right? I don't think you lose back-to-back games. I think
we saw a trap. Yeah, you're right, Greg. We saw a trap. We definitely saw.
We said that last week as well.
And that's usually what happens after. That's usually what happens after Monday night dubs, right, boys?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you get a Monday night dub, a short week. You feel good about yourself, especially you go 9-0. Now I think you're going to have a hungrier team and a team that has more attention to detail.
Yeah, I'll throw 2 more losses on there.
2 more out of the 2 already stated?
No, I'll say that we dropped the 1 Giants and 1 Dallas.
Oh, you said you're going to add 2 more losses on there.
So you're finishing us with 3 losses total, right?
Sure. And then
I thought you meant you were going to add 2 on to the 2 we already talked about.
No.
He's like, I'll add 2 more on there. I was like, oh wow, we're 4-4 down the stretch. Okay, don't like that as much. See you now.
See, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I probably had him. Obviously, I mean, I had him over to wins because I have the ticket, right? So I just don't remember if I won actually 11 games or if I stuck there at the 10. But with that, yeah, I mean, in my head I thought 13, but then looking at it and kind of feeling the way that the season's kind of been flowing right now, I can't see anything less than 14.
Okay, nice.
Oh my God! Holy sh!
Back it up.
Try a bookshelf one time.
There you go.
Beep.
There you go. Holy smokes! That's scary. That scared the living daylight. I might have nightmares about that one right now.
Yeah, that was
all right. So we're all at 14 then. Okay, Ralphie, where are you at?
Like 13, 14 range as well. Obviously, being 8-0, your expectations go up. I had these guys at 10 win. I had these guys at 11 wins to start the year, and obviously I'll add 2 to 3 more games tacked on just because of where we are. So I'm gonna finish them. I'm gonna go 14 wins as well. I think that's the ceiling for them is 14, and I think 13 is even better. So I'm gonna say 13 to 14 range, but for me, I'll go 14.
So for argument's sake, right? Because and it's understandable. Everyone's talking about, oh my God, could the Vikings end up passing us for the conference and the 1 seed? So for argument's sake, let's see, when you look at obviously the Vikings, how many wins do we need to get to confidently say, okay, we've got the number 1 seed? So
before you say that, Noah, because Noah got caught out there. Noah, what do you have our win total at? How many wins now do we get to? What's that number?
Honestly, I think we lose the Tennessee game.
What's your end number? What do you think?
So, say we lose the Tennessee game. I mean, in my eyes, I don't think we can afford to lose another divisional game, or we just may very well not win the division. Call me crazy, but they need to find a way to beat Dallas and beat the Giants twice. And honestly, I think they do that. My only worry is the Tennessee game and trying to stop Derrick Henry. Other than that, I'd say 15-2, as long as we get the run defense cleaned up, and I think we'll be all right.
All right, 10-7, boys.
Run defense cleaned up. Yet we lose to the Titans and the run offense.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it out of him. That's.
I'm just being real with you. I just think it's going to be one of those games, and like you said, Vrabel's a damn good coach, and obviously Derrick Henry's one of the best backs in the league for a reason.
All right, so for the remaining 8 games of the Vikings, right? So they are also 8-1, correct?
Yeah.
You have at home against the Cowboys, you have at home against the Patriots, at home against the Jets, on the road against the Lions. So if you look at those 4 games, realistically, 3-1? Would you say?
2-2.
Yeah, 3-1, 3-1, easily 3-1.
Easily 2-2 too.
For who?
What would be the second loss? The Jets?
Jets
I
are
don't
a really
know,
good team. Patriots are a really good team.
Yeah, any one of them, honestly. Like any
Now
of the
remember,
four. I mean,
the Cowboys is a Sunday game. Then they play the Patriots that Thursday, so they're going Sunday to Thursday.
yeah, they could easily lose 2 games in that stretch. I mean, we could too.
I mean, Detroit's Detroit's they are what they are, right? They could come out and they always beat us week 1.
And it is a divisional game too. So
yeah,
So you want to pencil them in for 2-2 then?
you can go 3-1 and give them be on the bright side for them.
So that's 11-2 with 4 weeks to go. Then you've got at home against the Colts. Win.
Yeah,
so
probably.
That's 12-2. At home against the Giants. At home, going to Lambeau against the Packers, and then going to Chicago.
You could easily have another loss in there.
So 2-2. You want to go 2-2 for that one?
No, that's probably an easier stretch than the first stretch. If you're going to go 2-2, I would do the first stretch. That seems a little bit more difficult than the second stretch, but they're both like sort of equal.
Green Bay.
Yeah, because you could lose to Green Bay, you could lose to the Giants, right? So, I mean, I would say, if you want to be like on the upside positive for them, at minimum, 14-3. So you're talking about. So you're talking about the same record. So I mean, I think we're both right in it, and I think the tiebreaker ends up being the difference maker. Like, I think if we get to 13, they're probably at 13. Like I think they're pretty equal teams in terms of what they do really well. They do really well, right? If you can find a way to shut that down, sure. I think we can get rid of like the not believing in Kirk Cousins stuff. I think he's really good, and I think he's got the best wide receiver in football that he throws the football to. I don't think that I knew that. Some of us knew it on draft night how good he could be, but that's story for another day. He is a Minnesota Viking and he's tremendous, but their defense is better than we thought they were. So I mean, look, they could be 14-3, but I think the difference is the tiebreaker. I think they have a harder stretch than us in a weird way. They have a little bit more difficult of a run through. I feel like that Jets game's a tough football game. I feel like all their divisional games are tough.
I think this game coming up this week against the Cowboys, I mean, to come off of that high of beating, and the way they beat them, I mean, you're going to turn around and play a really good Cowboys team who's hungry.
Who just came off a bad loss too.
Who just came off a bad loss, right? I mean, Dallas is favored in the game. If you think about it, Dallas is favored. I mean, it's 1.5, but that's telling that they're favored on the road. 1.5.
To your point, Tom, with whether or not they have a tougher stretch of games for the remainder of the season than us, it's all about how whoever would views the New York Giants. To where, say for example, if somebody doesn't think the Giants are very good, you could argue, oh well, the Eagles get to play them twice. The Giants only get to play them once. Or flip side, if you think the Giants are very good, you would say, oh well, the Eagles have to play them twice, and the Giants only have to play them once, and that's at home. You know what I'm saying? To where the Giants are kind of the difference maker of that schedule, because sure, you could say, the Jets are a little bit better than they're supposed to be. The Patriots are, you're playing Bill Belichick on a short week. But no, there's some couple games just like ours that are sneaky.
Yeah, like you say the Jets, the Jets is a real sneaky game in there.
Yeah.
Because the Jets play great defense. So
I think the only thing giving them maybe slight odds in those games is I think you said they were home, right, Rye? At least New England's home, right?
Yes. The Cowboys game is home, and the Pats game is at home.
The next 3 weeks for them are in Minnesota, so they don't leave Minnesota until December 10th. That's
when they go to Detroit, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, not a layup line for them at all, and not a layup line for the team that they're playing against them. So I mean, they're good. They're good.
I just saw Julio's comment.
Which one?
That's nice to call Rager the best receiver in football time.
Depends who you ask on draft night. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Oh my God.
Love it, Julio.
What do you think is the magic number to hit to get the number 1 seed?
14.
I think it's gonna be at 14.
14 without tiebreakers.
Oh man, I think we can get there.
Which sucks, and we'll get to when we do locks of the week. You almost got to be a Cowboys fan this week, honestly.
Yep.
Well, and then you got to be against the Cowboys the rest of the time because now their record's good. The Giants, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't know how they're doing it. Like, it is a definition of smoke and mirrors. I know they get Evan Neal back this week, which is a big time addition to a football team this late in the season. Obviously we're dealing with the injury bug here in Philadelphia, which is not ideal. But when you talk about what Jalen Hurts' future can be here, you have to look at the fact that this is what you would pay a guy $200+ million to do hypothetically, is to be able to carry your football team through the adversity of not only a loss, but injuries. Dallas Goedert is a huge loss for his football team. So
yeah, huge.
We're going to find out something, and we already know about the kid and how he's been a stud this year. Been an absolute stud. He's gotten better at everything. Now, do you have the ability to continue to play at an elite level and carry your team? That's what you pay guys $200 million to do, right? That at the end of the day, that's what you pay guys to do. So the real Jalen Hurts, we're going to find out about through the injuries, especially to a guy like Dallas Goedert, who's his second most targeted player on this football team. That's not like poo-poo. Like, that's a loss. And don't give me any of the backups. All right, you want to tell me Tyree Jackson can play? Sure, but he hasn't played. He's been hurt. So that's not ideal. Chemistry matters. So it's not plug and play. It's not Jack Stahl and the other guy. Like, hopefully they can block well so we can run the football. But neither of them can do what Dallas Goedert can do on a football field. So how good can Jalen Hurts be down the stretch is going to dictate if we get to 14 wins. So all binoculars should be on the quarterback because, boys, through these next 9 weeks, counting the playoffs, we're going to find out if that's a $200 million man or not. We're going to find out, like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And he wasn't anything. He was very good on Monday, right? He wasn't anything. There was no issues, right? And I'm looking at some of these comments like, no, I knew it wasn't. Like, JT, you think we're going downhill? What are you concerned about? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. There's a couple, small concerns, but we're going downhill. It was one loss, man.
Well, he also said facts. He also said facts to Jalen. When you're going to find out who he is.
I want to try and get more out of him so I can either, talk him off the ledge or maybe join him. But I don't see us going downhill, JT. So, and I see Greg. I see Greg in there, going after Gannon and hey, we're okay. For the first 9 weeks, we were a top defense, and then we had one bad week. It's okay.
I'll go after him all day. But
no, I'm with you. But it's just like to be just constantly going in and in and in. It's just like we get it. We had a bad week. Bounce back.
Yeah. I will go at him after wins. So just to be clear on where I'm.
Yeah, we know where you are.
No, he's a nerd. He's a nerd. But he did a tremendous job through 8 weeks, right? Umberto says, boys, what concerns you more? Missing Dallas Goedert for a few weeks or missing Maddox for a few weeks? My God. I mean, that's
Maddox.
The way they picked up third downs, you might want to lean there. But I don't know who the replacement's going to be, what Dallas Goedert can do. It's almost easier to lose a slot guy for a couple weeks because you do have two bookend corners there. You don't have frauds there. If you were sketchy on the outside like last year, then Avante becomes even bigger. But the problem is you don't have that backup tight end. Josiah Scott actually played decent on Monday night. You know what I mean? Like, he did play decent on Monday night. I think that's who played in his place.
Yeah. And he played a little bit. He
Who
played
was it?
a bunch this year.
Mario Goodrich. Josiah's on. He was out. It was Mario Goodrich.
Whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both the same guy. So whoever did it, like, I didn't hear him much, obviously, which tells me he did fine. So I thought that Monte Max is a huge loss, but Dallas is a monstrous loss. Monstrous, because that's irreplaceable. That physically, that dual tight end threat that can not only block extremely well, but can stretch the field on you, is physical, all right, runs after catch. You guys know how important the tight end is for a young quarterback. It's not even close who's more important. And I'm not Mr. Dallas Goedert. I actually like Avonte a little bit more as a player than I do Dallas. But that being said, this is a tight end league for young quarterbacks, for every quarterback. Your tight end's your best friend. I mean, what did Minnesota go do? They went and got a tight end finally for their quarterback. They've had all the skill position guys. They never had a tight end. Now they go get Hawkinson. They're better immediately, right? And you saw him have a couple big catches against the Bills to extend drives. So that guy's so important to extend drives. I don't know who's replacing that. No, we're going to find out, right? But, who's catching the bubble screens at tight end like Dallas can do and taking it 15 yards and running through contact? Avonte's good, and he's arguably one of the better slot guys in football. But right back at Dallas Goedert, he's arguably one of the better tight ends in football. But he's probably a top 5 tight end in football, which is crazy to say because
I think he's right behind Travis Kelce.
We've just been so spoiled at tight end with Zach for so long, right? We segue into another really good one. And as a fan base, it's almost like, and I'm guilty of it too, right? As a fan base, we're like, we don't even talk about him. We don't, we'll do him as players of the game and stuff. But he's almost like the poo pick for player of the game. And in reality, he's gotten so much better as a player too, because he had his issues with drops early on in his career. He had issues with obviously some fumbles early on in his career, but you saw the talent. And I thought this year that talent was really coming to show its face to everybody. And it's sad he got hurt. And again, thank God it's not season ending for either one of those two guys, because we're going to need him come postseason time and down the stretch, right, boys? But he's so important that I think we don't, as a fan base, sometimes we don't realize it. It's easier to cover you. It's now harder on your quarterback.
Noah, to your point, I would put him either 3 or 4 in the league. The only guy I would definitely put above Dallas would probably be Andrews. I want to say Waller, but Waller hasn't been healthy in 2 years. Yeah. Other than that, though, Dallas has an argument.
Yeah, he got 5.
No, I hear you, but let's put it this way. I mean, the job of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, their job got that much harder with Goddard with him being out of the lineup at least the next 4 weeks. I mean, we're gonna,
we talk about
Jalen. Jalen's safety blanket, so to speak, is gone. So it's going to be on on Smith and Brown to get open and make plays like they have been doing for much of this season.
Yeah, it just takes the middle of your field away. Like you said, it takes away that check down. It takes away your second most targeted player on your football team. I mean, that's irreplaceable. I mean, I would almost have you almost want to lose an outside guy if you got to pick somebody. You don't want to lose either one of those cats either. But if you had a gun to your head, you would say, okay, take Devontae for 4 weeks instead of Dallas, right? If you had a gun to my head, I don't ever want to lose AJ. But if you had a gun to my head, I would say, because of the tight end's importance in this league.
But devil's advocate,
banged up too. I mean, when is he going to be 100% again this season?
Fine. No, he said today he's fine. No, he's fine.
He might be fine. He might tell you he's fine. He looked a little. He looked ever since when he twisted his ankle or came down funny on it out of the break. He wasn't the same player the rest of the game. Now with treatment, modern medicine, he's probably fine, and he'll probably be Gucci in Indy. But you just hope, because he has a history too, right? I mean, one of the reasons the Titans weren't gonna back the Brinks up was because of the injury history, to a point where he was always missing 3 or 4 games a year. Well, it's the NFL, I get it, but there's always that little cloud over him too. It's like, because he's so physical, right? When you're that physical, sometimes like Dallas is, right? When you're a physical junkie, sometimes you don't win that fight, right? You don't win that collision fight. So AJ's been sensational, but I think it's going to be a tough loss, boys, and I don't know who fills it.
Well, I was going to say devil's advocate, right? We've been so spoiled with Ertz and then Goddard. Maybe there is something to that room. And I'm not saying Stoll or Calcaterra or Jackson are going to be as explosive, but maybe they can at least be that safety net, right? Maybe they can be that safety net as a collective group, right? Because they've been around these guys for so long. You know,
Can
they've
you
been
sit
around
down on
Goddard.
windows? Yeah.
They've been there. You know what I mean? Like, you're right, Tom. No, none of these guys are going to replace the true playmaker that Goddard is, right? But can they be, you know, a tier below to where they're still somewhat impactful in this offense? And I think they can be, because, you know, what was so great about what our offense had going into the year was there was so many weapons, right? There was so many options. So yeah, now maybe the tight end drops from like the number 2 look, right? Maybe that now goes to Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
Now the tight end might be the 4th look, right? You go AJ, Devontae, running back out of the backfield, whatever there is, and then you go to the tight end. They might be wide open over the middle of the field, you know. So I'm hoping as a collective group, they're kind of like that offensive line. They're like that offensive line where, oh, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to talk it into existence.
Yeah, I mean, the only guy that bring you that hope, the only guy to bring you hope is Tyree Jackson. He hasn't played. So the only guy that's like explosive and has like a catch radius and can do those things is Jackson. And I'm not like, and guy was on PUP list, etc. He coming off an ACL injury. It's hard to like say like, oh, there's our savior. So you're right. Can they collectively try to get it done? Sure, but they're not going to give you the impact he does. So are you able to sit down in holes, in zones, find open spots for your quarterback, etc. And that's what they got to do. But it's still a monster loss.
Yeah. JT, I see you said offensive league, 21 points is too low. There's been 2 games where they've scored 21 points or less. This one that we just lost, and Arizona, and they won that game. If you want to go 25 points and below, there's 2 games where they had 24 points, and they won both of those games. So just it's a week to week league. I'm sure you're frustrated, like a lot of us was watching that game, but the season's not over. We're still in a good spot.
I think you have to run the football now. Sorry, Ryan, real quick. I think you have to run the football without Dallas Goedert. So, I mean, I think you have to get back to your bread and butter to create play action again. And I'm not telling you got to run the ball 70% of the time. You just got to get back to having long drives like they had all year, right? Long 7-8 minute drives that just take the heart out of teams. And if you're able to do that, you can survive without a guy like Dallas Goedert for 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it may be, right? But you have to run the football well. I mean, because if they don't, then it's even more eyes on Jalen. Like, I mean, maybe he can. Maybe he can go slinging around 45 times, 40 times, and we can still keep the engine going without Dallas Goedert. But I think you have to change the way you go about stuff without him.
Yeah, Greg, to your point,
I'm not saying they have to do what they did the second half of last season, but they do need a heavy dose of Miles Sanders and maybe even Boston Scott. I mean, I'm not saying, like you're alluding to, they don't need to run the ball 80% of the plays, but they certainly need to establish the line of scrimmage, and a heavy run game, at least in the early going, will prove dividends, I think. And my biggest concern really is just, I get it. We were bound to lose a game. The part that sucks is it's a divisional game at home. That chapped my ass. But other than that, really, I was disappointed with the way we played on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I thought our offensive and defensive line got absolutely manhandled by a pretty average Washington team.
Yep.
Greg, to what you were saying earlier, and I'm not trying to completely discredit the loss of Goddard, because Goddard's a very important piece of this offense, but it makes me have a little bit more confidence now that we're not on an offense where it was just like Jalen Reagor and like old man Alshon Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Where it was a one-trick pony offense where you didn't have any semblance of a running game, and your O-line was banged up. You know what I'm saying? Like the final year of Carson, where it was just kind of like, oh, if you don't have your main tool at your disposal, it's kind of like, okay, how the hell are we scoring points? You're just going to have to put more of a load on Devontae and A.J. Brown, and I think they can handle it. And honestly, the way people talk about this offense the last couple of weeks, during games, how the running game's been completely ignored according to some people. Okay, well then this might be the best thing for you because they're going to need to lean on it. Now, having Dallas Goedert's blocking is not going to make things any easier, him not being there for the next, 4 games. But honestly, and this is just based off of what they were doing, locker room wise, but they had every opportunity. We all know Howie Roseman likes to move and shake. They had every opportunity to go out and make a solidified move as a backup tight end, because we know this is not the first time Dallas Goedert has been banged up, especially for multiple games at a time. Mm-hmm. And they said they came into the season saying, hey, our tandem of Alcantara, Stoll, and Tyree Jackson when he comes back from the ACL, that's good enough because they all do different things. So you line up those guys to do different things. Stoll more as the blocking, and Alcantara and obviously Tyree Jackson for more receiving. Maybe Quez Watkins can catch and hold on to a ball. Maybe he could be more of an impact. And you rely on Miles Sanders and obviously Gainwell and Scott to be your running backs and maybe, get them involved in the passing game as well.
Yeah, I just think it's a problem when you can – real quick, Greg, it's a problem, though, when, one guy's on the field like Dallas Goedert, you can't game plan or adjust your defense accordingly, right? So what happens is if you have your pass-catching tight end out there, more teams are going to expect pass now, right? So you almost are showing your cards, which makes it hard, right? Which makes what you're doing a little bit more difficult than when you have a guy for instance, just because Howie didn't address it doesn't mean for Howie makes a lot of mistakes and he makes a lot of good decisions. But I'll never forget, he makes mistakes too on rosters. Every GM does. So just because he didn't address it doesn't mean that those guys can fill the role. We got to hope they can. We got to hope because we don't know. None of us know. I don't know. You guys don't know. It's an unknown what those guys are. So, we're going to hope that they can be adequate, right? That's going to be the goal. Can you guys be adequate for us? Nobody's going to expect you guys to be awesome, right? Nobody's going to expect oh my God, we have a diamond in the rough, right? Can you guys just be adequate? Can you catch balls when they're thrown to you? Can you block well? And maybe can these guys do double dips with stuff where, it's not a dead giveaway, where defenses can't smell what you're doing. That'd be my only concern of it, is that both guys sort of are telling okay, you're doing this as a defense. I mean, you're doing this as an offense. You're about to throw the football now, right? Or, this is a guaranteed run play, right? We're going to get downhill. So that's my only concern with it. But offensively structured, you're still really good. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you're good enough to throw 40 times a game. So that's where it's going to be. One, how good is Jalen? Even more so with missing a big piece, because you find out about quarterbacks too when they miss their safety, when they lose a safety blanket, because they did a phenomenal job of putting all these pieces around them. And my only thing to the tight end is, yeah, you got to expect everybody to get hurt on your roster at some point, but they put so much emphasis on the weapons they brought in. You can only have so many deep and good positions on your football team, right? So for them, they're deep offensive line wise, and they're supposed to be deep defensive line wise. Hasn't aged well for them, right? And they're their two deepest positions, and then everywhere else you usually have a really good player and then a drop off. Actually, Kevon Wallace made a tackle on Monday night that we never talked about.
He made it.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that?
Is that Dawkins? I said, is that Dawkins? I had to clean my glasses off. Is that Dawkins?
And then they went for it on 4th and 1, and then they converted. So that got washed. Yeah, we're gonna find out how washed Fletcher Cox is. We'll know exactly how washed he is after this week, because we talked about it, we thought against a Washington offensive line that's had, I think, 7 different variations before the game on Monday. And we're well, their defensive line, we'll absolutely dominate. We should be, getting to the quarterback at will. And we didn't do that, obviously. Matt Ryan, before he took his little break and now he's back, he was the highest sacked quarterback in the NFL. He was on the ground more than he was upright. So
yeah,
if this is another week where we're coming out, on, Sunday night, Monday night, talking about how Fletcher Cox was a ghost and how we didn't get to the quarterback, we pretty much have our answer if we don't already about Fletcher Cox and whether or not he should and will be back next year.
Well, that was the strange thing, and I know Noah kind of hit it on it too. The first play, it felt like the first play of the game was the strip sack from Josh Sweat, and then it was all right, was that just Josh Sweat beating his man, or did or was that something that was called to the point where we never did it again. I mean, then you go away from it. I'm like, what is going on? You started to get so hot.
I have so many questions with our defensive line, like as a whole, with so much money tied into there. And then you go at a Robert Quinn. Now, again, I didn't expect him to be the greatest defense end of all time right when he walks in the door. But I expected to see a pulse. Like how he hasn't gotten that side of it right since Chris Long, right? Yep. So, I mean, when you look at the things he tried to do, Ryan Kerrigan, 2-8, he's done. He couldn't play anymore. I think the only sack he had was in the Dallas game when it didn't matter at the end of the year. And then you segue in the guy, which we all think is a really good move, in Robert Quinn. But now we have to see it. Like, we need him. We need him. Like, more than we thought we did, right?
And we kind of thought this game was going to be it, right? You're coming in full, 11 days, the layoff. You had time to get in the playbook. And you're right, Tom, you didn't see it, because he was one of those guys, especially in Chicago, that he was able to get his own. Like, you didn't need the blitz for him to get his. He was able to get his own. He was able to draw the double teams, letting other people get it because of what he's able to do off the line.
For sure.
And this is situations like, Fletcher Cox has been a ghost. He's not anything close to what he was. So I can put a lot on him and the players, and Brandon Graham, not just for the last play, but he really hasn't done much this year. And not that we were expecting him to, an aging player coming off a major injury, all that, context being added to it. But certain aspects of the defensive line is why, Tom, I know you do this, but a lot of the fan base really goes after Jonathan Gannon, even in wins, because I saw 4 times, not even looking for it, just it caught my eye. So I'm sure it happened more if I went back and I was actually looking at it, where both Hassan Reddick and Robert Quinn were dropped back in coverage. Like, what do we? I know the Hassan Reddick thing in Jonathan Gannon. It's like, oh, he's a cornerback sometimes. Like that, I knew that existed after like week 2, but now you're doing it with Robert Quinn. Like, you have guys that are talented, and it's so clear.
You don't want to do this tonight.
With Gannon?
No, I'm saying you don't want to do this because I'm gonna flip out on freaking people like that do shows here like Chuck's.
Oh.
Like I'm not looking for Jimmy Johnson. You understand? I'm looking when you go and you fucking spend big time goddamn money on a defensive end who all the numbers state. If you want to be an analytical freaking nerd, all the numbers state how well he gets after the quarterback. His sacks dictate where he ranks defensive end wise when you talk about Hassan Reddick. And you have the fucking audacity to drop him in coverage, to drop it ever. No, knock it off then. Then you don't trust your linebackers to cover. What are we trying to do? Get cute? Like he's going to get an interception because he dropped back and you're fooling a freaking quarterback that's played quarterback since he's been 6 years old? Get a freaking clue. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Robert Quinn, guy had freaking 45 sacks last year. Guess what he does? Hand the dirt, go get the quarterback. Hassan Reddick, hand the dirt, or in a 2-point stance, go get the goddamn quarterback. Because that's what they do. When you get cute as a defensive coordinator and you do shit like this, it's not about wanting Jimmy Johnson. It's not about wanting Jim Schwartz. It's about wanting a guy that can feel the goddamn room. And the room is Hassan Reddick is a 4-down, if the team goes for it on 4th down, a 4-down defensive end. Miss me with an edge bullshit. Miss me with all the cute little freaking things that guys give positions to now. He's a defensive end. That's what he is. So stop changing what people are. He is a pass rush specialist. And to be honest with you, he stops the run pretty well too. Robert Quinn, what is he? Pass rush specialist. Josh Sweat, first off, is solid, okay? But he should never drop back in coverage. None of those guys should ever drop backwards. What the hell are we talking about? So the people out there that want to tell me, oh, you guys around here just want Jim Johnson and Jim Schwartz. You don't understand what he's doing. Oh, I understand what he's doing because I know more football than you'll ever know. I forgot about more football than guys that want to freaking be pompous and tell me how much they know and how much film I'm sick of it. How much film they watch. And Jonathan Gannon's not the problem. Well, I got 2 words for you. No, I was gonna curse and I'm not gonna do it. So get a clue. So I have a couple more words. I'm so tired. It's ad nauseum. And people act like we're doing something wrong by saying, dude, this isn't, he doesn't run a defense well. Well, you don't understand it because what he's trying to really do is he's trying to bend but not break. You can bend but not break and have a guy like Hassan Reddick who's top 3 in sacks over the last 3 years, and a guy like Robert Quinn who's probably top 5 or 6 in the last 3 years. Those guys, guess what they do? They're going to get to the quarterback, John. Okay, they're not guys. They're not cover linebackers. Stop acting like Hassan Reddick's a cover linebacker. You want to get a cover linebacker on the field? You drafted one. All right, N'Kobe Dean. Get him on the field then. All right, Kaiser White was a former safety. So I would assume, guys going to tell me they know more football. Former safety. I would assume he can cover a little bit. All right, the only one who maybe is a concern cover-wise is TJ. Okay, maybe. Right, maybe. Okay.
That's why he's the middle guy. That's why he's the middle guy, though. Right?
At the end of the day, yeah. At the end of the day, my rant's over. Those guys need to rush the passer every goddamn down. Don't tell me that Jonathan Gannon knows more than me when I can sit on my couch and say, what is he doing? Where is he dropping to? Is this real life? Is this real football life? Knock it the frick off with the cute shit. I'm going to fool somebody. You ain't fooling nobody. I don't need you to pressure corners all the time, right? And press coverage. I understand that sometimes you want to play off. Sometimes you want to play zone. I get it. But guess how you help your corners? That you're a former cornerback, John, all right? Have your guys that are specialists do what they do.
It's pretty simple, to be honest.
I couldn't agree more. It's no secret. You help your secondary by having your front 7 get after the fucking quarterback. When you give the opposing quarterback less time to throw, your defensive backs don't have to cover nearly as long.
And again, right. to all the Gannon apologists, like, oh, you guys wouldn't be undefeated without Gannon's scheme. No, actually, they were undefeated and the defense was really good because you had so much talent to alleviate Gannon's supposed scheme. It was that, oh, this guy is so damn talented, or this guy gets interceptions 5, 6, maybe 7 in a couple weeks, times in a row. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he picks somebody off for multiple times a game. In an occurrence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row, it doesn't matter where Jonathan Gannon has him. Or Hassan Reddick is so damn good to where he gets to the quarterback however many times. It seems like it was a year ago at this point. Like, what was this, week 7, week 6, where Hassan Reddick was, he was getting to the quarterback and he led the league in forced fumbles or some statistic that was really good. That was, it was a good sign for our defense, right? And then ever since then, nowhere to be found. And it's not Hassan's fault. It's not. I understand Jonathan Gannon's not playing, but when you drop back in coverage, it's like, oh, it's going to be harder to get to the quarterback. It's pretty simple. You have linebackers now to where you don't need your defensive specialists that are going after the quarterbacks to drop back in coverage. No, you actually have a defense that you could thank your general manager and your owner for going out and getting you. And every damn time I see a report, it's like once a week now, which is awesome. Oh, Jonathan Gannon, one of the hottest guys that are going to be on the head coaching market next season, smile ear to ear. Because everyone that's an apologist of him, you'll understand it and you'll see it at a greater margin.
Well, good. I hope so. I hope he goes to Houston next year and goes 2-15.
I wanted him to go there this year. Forget next year. Super chat from our boy 40 Boy. We appreciate it. I get the bend, but don't break. But every play is crazy, and that's the problem. You can bend and not break, and still have balls between your legs. You understand? You can bend but not break, and just have a little moxie to you, and have a feel for the game too, and a feel for what your players' strengths are. And that's what I'm always going to have a problem with. I don't care what Hassan Reddick did in Carolina or other places. I care what he's going to do here. You understand? And what he's going to do here is going to get the quarterback. I don't care that a guy can do that. That's cute. That's awesome he can do that. That's not what he's going to get paid big bucks for. You pay a DN big bucks like you paid him to go get a quarterback. You ain't paying a DN big bucks. And don't tell me he's a swing. I don't want to hear he's an outside linebacker. Shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. Anybody who says that is an idiot. And I said it when we signed him, if you guys recall this. I said that better not happen. You guys remember that show? You remember that? Everybody out there remember that show? When I said that better not happen. Stand them up in a 2 2-point stance, and he can feel like he's an outside linebacker, but he goes and gets a quarterback every down. And people on other shows told me, Tom, you're wrong. Okay. All right. I'm not always right, but when I'm right, I'm going to get loud about it. Or at least when I feel like I'm right. And right now I feel like I'm right.
Speaking of being right, do you guys want to get predictions?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
I think 40 Boy Lou had another super chat in there too.
Yeah, double dip. I only saw one.
He double dipped.
Especially
when they're running down your third. 40 Boy, thank you, brother.
Hell yeah.
The bend don't break, that really aged well on Monday because they got bent and they got broke.
Yes. And when you run it down your throat.
It was a perfect combination of death via million paper cuts on third down and getting beat over the top by Terry McLaurin. Oh, and Curtis Samuel because he's still wide open because you couldn't cover in the slot. Like that. I love it. Like, oh, we don't want to get beat over the top. Well, you did. So adjust to it. Oh, no, we don't want to get beat over the top again. You did. Did you adjust to it the third time? No, you didn't. You gave up 32 points. Thanks. To a team that was 26th on third down conversions going into the week. But we made all sorts of adjustments, and that guy should be a head coach.
Yeah. That's what teams like Houston
Jonathan Gannon should be a head coach like I should be a fucking brain surgeon.
Neither are good. Neither are positive. Our picks are brought to you by Baggio's Bakery, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best breads, sandwiches, desserts. I mean, they got everything over at Baggio's Bakery. You got to go check them out. And if you use promo code HUD, you get 10% off your in-store order. So go check out Baggio's Bakery, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They got everything. I'm telling you, tried it last week. Unbelievable. Maybe they should be the defense coordinator because they bring it. Absolutely bring it. Okay, so that's who our picks are brought to you by. We don't want Frank to give a total, so nobody knows where we're at there.
The locks of the week. I meant the Eagles predictions, but yeah, we can do locks of the week too.
Oh yeah, we got to do Eagles predictions. I completely forgot.
I got Frank to send me the records though, so I do have that for locks of the week when we get there.
Okay, well, Baggio's Bakery is brought to you by is our sponsor of our score predictions here. And if somebody nails the score, which nobody has, $150 Venmo. 150 we're gonna go. You gotta nail it though. That's big fuzzles. I don't think anybody's gonna do it. So Eagles, Colts, we'll do predictions, offense and defensive players of the game. We do it every week, even though I forgot about it. We talked Eagles for an hour and 17 minutes. But here we are. Their defense is pretty good, I feel like, too. Like, they're tough, right? Like, they're tough.
I think
Darius
Leonard out.
Yes, Darius Leonard's out, I believe.
Yes, he is.
But they still have DeForest Buckner, to your point.
And Yannick and Ngakwe, Mr. Gilmore
Remember
on the
him?
back end. Eagle legend Rodney McLeod, Julian Blackman also, Kenny Moore. Yeah, they have talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say 24-17 Eagles.
Damn you.
Spread 7, I think.
It
7 and 44, yeah.
And we got to cover. Well, we got to push.
What'd you go? 24-17.
24-17.
Okay.
I literally had the same thing, so I got to adjust now. I have to adjust. I'm going to go 23-16.
Nice.
Thanks, Ralph.
Greg, I'll go last.
27-17.
Noah?
How you doing? With all due respect to Jeff Saturday, the game's played on Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles go into Indianapolis. And last time I checked, Peyton Manning doesn't play for the Colts anymore. Neither does Marvin Harrison. Neither does Edgerrin James. Neither does Dwight Freeney. So guess what? The Eagles win this football game 35-10.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about bounce back. I like
Gotta
it.
have it.
And the national media is back on the wagon.
Ralphie?
Sweeps, did he change his name to Shaq Leonard now?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Sweeps. Look at that dynamite drop in.
Inside info from the Sweeps.
I'm gonna go 27-24 Birds.
Oh, dear.
Sweater.
I just think missing Jordan Davis on the up front, the run stuffer, is just huge, man.
The sweater.
It's huge.
What about Linval Joseph, Ralphie? You don't like Linval Joseph?
The meatball sweats, the Baggio meatball sweats
Yeah.
on Sunday?
Yeah.
Jeez, Ralph, what are you doing to us, bro?
Listen, it's Philly. We're always sweating over here.
This is
Always sweating over here.
Tom, you want to go offensive player of the game?
35-10. Wow, no, I would love that.
I don't think Tom's here. I think he's away for a second. Ralph, lead us off with offensive player of
It's
the game.
gotta happen, Greg.
I would love it.
Offensive player of the game. No Dallas. I went back-to-back weeks with Dallas Goedert. Obviously, I can't go
that's
there
why
again.
he's got hurt.
Be
Jesus
careful
Christ.
who you choose because we don't want this to
Jesus.
happen in a couple weeks.
Oh my God.
Maybe choose like Quez Watkins or something for us.
Jeez.
Nope, we can't be picking on him.
I'll go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'll go Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns.
Oh, now he's going to be saying we hate him.
There we go. The downfall
Tom?
of Miles Sanders.
Speaking of Miles, would anybody think why was Kenny Gainwell in the game so much the other night?
I don't.
I know they rotate backs, but it just seemed very odd that you're starting series is with not Miles when you're kind of down. I don't know. There was just more than once I go, why is Gainwell in the game?
I just don't think he's very good, Greg. This is not the first time I've said it. It's not the last time I will. I just don't think. I don't know why Kenny Gainwell's on the field. Guy drops passes. The guy can't really block. He's not really a power runner, even though they say he is. Like, oh, he's our power runner. No, Jalen Hurts is.
Yeah.
Or Trey Sermon if he actually activated him. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, I see Kenny Gainwell, and I'm screaming at my TV. Why is it not Miles Sanders or Boston Scott?
Yeah.
Like, I even put Boston Scott in there.
Right. No, I hear you. All right. Sorry, I didn't want to take away from the offensive player of the game.
No, it's good because he's definitely not going to be mine, so it's fine. Tom?
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. It's got to be kind of. Got to be
kind of.
Noah, you go. Come back to me.
Oh, boy. Give me Devontae Smith. 2 touchdowns.
Miles has got 2 from Ralph. Devontae's got 2 from Noah. Noah's 35-10 might come true after all.
Yeah.
Go.
That's 28 points right there.
Eagles are
He's
gonna
one more
roll.
I'll go with Quez. What the hell?
Oh, you're Quez.
Yeah, I'll go Quez.
I'm gonna go. With a guy in a new spot. Give me some Grant Calcaterra talk.
Greg, you know what's funny? I almost did it. But I'm like, I think Greg's gonna either go Stall or Calcaterra. So I left him for you.
Give me some Calcaterra talk. Let's go.
I actually think he can play a little bit. Like, he's not Dallas Goedert, but I think he can. Remember, he was highly touted, coming out of college, but he had the concussions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think he's going to be, the next coming, but I think he could do the job for a game. And Odubel loves your pick. Odubel Herrera loves your pick.
I love it.
Defense, Ralphie?
there's no shot of that happening, bro.
All right, the Tyree Jackson.
Oh my God.
Former quarterback.
Defense for me, I'm gonna go James Bradbury, interception this week.
Tom, we know where you're going.
Tom, we keep rolling that down the line, brother.
Gardner Johnson for a 6 week.
Yep.
That hit still was such bullshit. That hit he got flagged for.
Dude,
yeah.
I know, man. I'm not a big ref guy. I don't try to blame games on refs, but dude, the officiating last Monday night was horrendous. Dude.
I've said for a long time, I wish those types of 15-yard personal foul penalties were
should
at
be
least
reviewable.
challengeable or reviewable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, at the end of the day,
How does the back judge miss the Dallas Goedert face mask. You were looking at the play, dude.
He was texting. He was sending a text, Ralph.
Yeah, they changed the game so often. You know what I mean?
Because if you throw the flag there, the fumble doesn't occur. It doesn't matter about the fumble. We still have the ball and the tackle on 15 yards.
Yeah, well, here's a question.
Whatever happens.
Yes, no.
If you challenge a play, all right, say if you're challenging a fumble or reviewing whatever, and you see an obvious personal foul penalty,
nope.
Can't they change that next year to where they can?
Well, they should.
They should.
I mean, it's common sense. Like if they go to the monitor and they see a blatant face mask, I don't know why you wouldn't want your refs to get it right. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the whole point of replay is to get something right. So if you're trying to get something right and you see something that's like a guaranteed foul, right? I think it's only right to fix it. Now, that all being said, that's no reason why we lost the game.
No.
I completely
agree. For me, I'll get again. If you don't have this guy in a position to sack the quarterback this week, I don't know what we're doing. Hassan Reddick, please.
Umberto.
Thank you, Umberto.
Thank you, Umberto.
Nice.
He's over Kenny Gainwell. Scott and Sanders need more touches. Yeah, I mean, I think Scott and Sanders get their touches. I mean, definitely Sanders does. So I'm not, 1 week's not going to like make me be like, I got. You know what I mean? They're not running ball. They don't do it anymore.
Greg, it might be time to unleash some Trey Sermon. It might be time.
Oh,
you sound like Chuck's right now. With the
No, if I was Chuck's, I'd be screaming, jumping up and down.
Guy can't even play. Guy couldn't even get enough snaps in a goddamn rush offense that's catered to running backs. He's okay.
Well, he was hurt. For context, he was too hurt to get snaps. He was never healthy.
Yeah,
Trey Sermon was like the third running back for Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm not saying Trey Sermon can't give you some power, some pop, but there's obviously a reason that we don't know on why he doesn't get any touches. And at the end of the day, I don't need anybody to work back to our circle jerk back to it. I don't need anybody but Miles and Boston touching the football. The only thing I can wrap my head around is why they give Kenny maybe snaps is maybe he does something well that we don't know about. Like I don't know, maybe in their tape he in pass protection he's good. I don't know. I just think he's a guy, right? They'll probably be out of football in 2 years. But he does. I'll give him credit though. He does run hard. So I will give him credit for that. I do think he does run hard. But at the end of the day, man, I want my most explosive back getting the touches, and that's Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm. Noah, your defensive player of the game?
Well, everybody, since he's got them only scoring 10 points.
Fletcher Cox 5 sacks. Brandon Graham went 4.
Now, even I think he's washed up at this point.
Which one?
You did early in the year. You had a ball with double-digit sacks.
Yeah, I know.
He's a different person than he was 8 weeks ago, Greg.
Those bold predictions got the best of them.
I'm laying off the vodka,
Me too.
You know what?
Defensive.
Or special teams.
Now let's go with Darius Slay. Not one pick. How about 2?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. There you go.
Well,
3 picks out of that defense.
We'll be losing the turnover battle. Here we go. Greg?
I went with him last week. We didn't see much out of him. I'm going to go with him again this week. Hopefully we see more out of him. Let's go Robert Quinn. I want to see a pulse. I want to see him get the quarterback. That's what we brought him in to do.
Ted, that's probably a good prediction because I'm sure Gannon will drop him back in the coverage also. So I'm sure he'll be right in the spot for a pick 6, Mr. Josh Sweat. Okay.
Sweep says Noah even giving Mike Mamula player of the game.
Good call, Sweeps.
Yo, I kid you not, though, Gazzo. I was at the vet when he Mamula had a pick 6 against the fucking Phoenix Cardinals.
Oh my God! And it was
I
Phoenix. They
swear
were
to
called
God.
Phoenix.
That's how old it was. They were Phoenix at that
But
point.
yeah,
Ralph, I think we've heard that story a couple times, haven't
Yeah,
we?
probably we have. That's probably the 55th time right now that we heard about it. Yeah.
Never gets old. Anyway, let's get to locks of the week here. So Frank.
Well, before you go, give me a second here. Locks of the week are let me pull them up. Locks of the week is brought to you by Gleason's Bar, located 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. Use our promo code A2D, you get 10% off your dine-in, takeout, or online order. So really, any way you order besides like Grubhub or a third party, you get 10% off your order at Gleason's Bar and Steaks, Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D, get 10% off.
The Trenton's delicious. I highly recommend it.
Oh, it is.
fucking cheesesteaks are awesome.
Okay, so I'm reading this for the first time here.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, little surprised. So I'll start from last place, and I would imagine this is 100% because the maker of this list is Frank, and Frank is in last place. So we would have to expect if he has himself in last place, that means that he is being honest. So he has a 36% winning percentage with his locks of the week. Second to last place is Mr. Milakovic. Hello. Wave to the camera. Hello. With a 41%
over 40.
winning.
Yes.
Yeah, you're climbing up there.
Let's
Very
go.
good. Then Ralphie, we must have all had really solid weeks with Frank.
I went 3-1.
Yeah, Ralphie, you're up to 40.
Could have went 4-0. Could have went 4-0, but the Bills fucked me.
You're at a 49 winning percentage.
Nice.
Ralphie. Then we have Tom at a 54.7 winning percentage.
Nice.
Tommy's almost making money.
I am at a 58 percent winning percentage, and then Chrome,
He's not on the show.
I was gonna say he hasn't been on the show, but somehow his percentage climbed up like 9%. He's at 59%.
I'm not sure if he's sending the picks to
Hit
Frank
a good week
behind
last
our
week.
backs.
Don,
Yeah.
don't start with me, Don.
Is Chrome down in Disney again?
I love you, Don. Don't start with me, buddy. Come on, man.
Penn State.
We are mediocre.
James Franklin. Hey, you got him from 20 more years now?
Yep.
Yeah, big contract.
The pride of Neshaminy High School.
Yeah. Great. Awesome.
Before we get into it, do you have any response to sweeps, Greg?
I only do 4 players. Come on, sweeps. 4 players. I'm not that crazy.
Yeah, but
I am as good as Willie Parlay though. So
I mean, now we're getting strays. Now
oh yeah, there's people catching strays for
no,
sure.
Now we're lashing out. Now it's time to move on.
Greg, did you go to Penn State?
No.
Oh God. Let's quickly move forward now. All right, so we start tomorrow night. The Tennessee Titans travel to Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Over under set at 41.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Rye, are you scribed today?
Hell no, Frank. If you're watching this, get a pen and paper.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just send Frank my locks.
No, he'll watch it back. I already talked to him.
Tennessee's one of my locks, so lock it up.
Oh, I like it.
Plus 3.5.
I agree with you. I'm not locking them though, but I do agree. I like Tennessee.
I also like Tennessee, but no lock.
Ooh, there's a lot of people on Tennessee.
Hence the no lock. Ralphie, no.
Remember the Titans.
All right, next game, Cleveland traveling to Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 8-point favorites. Over under set at 41.5.
Well, you think the Bills would come out, with guns blazing this week?
Yeah, Bills, please.
So give me the Bills, no lock.
Is Josh Allen going to play?
Yes, he is. Yep.
Yeah, Bills.
Go ahead, Noah.
He said Bills.
Bills, okay. I'm going to lock this game. I want the Browns and the under. There might be 30 inches of snow up there.
Yeah.
Bro, they're
game.
calling for 31 inches, dude.
There might be a whole bunch of snow. Give me the Browns to cover the 8 and the under.
Yeah, for a
Lock
team that
that.
doesn't run the football with the Buffalo Bills.
There's no way they call that game, right? There's no
they're
way
playing. They're playing that game Monday night, or they're playing that game. They're not going to play it Saturday. I would almost bet they play that game Monday. I don't know the weather report for Monday, but I would assume they don't play in that. But
what is it scheduled to be played? Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah. And they're getting 31 inches of snow or something like that. Crazy amount up there this weekend.
Fuck it. Let them play.
Yeah, if it was a normal game, I would have locks all over this game, but I'm not touching it. But I'll go Bills with no locks. Eagles traveling to Indianapolis. The Eagles are 7-point favorites. Over under set at 44.
Eagles, and
yeah.
I'm not locking anything here, but the Eagles. I think the Eagles cover, even though my score said it was a push. I do think they cover.
I got the Colts covering because I had 27-24.
Give me the Eagles.
I have the Eagles for a lock. Matt Ryan, anytime interception. Noah?
That's it. I told you this. When you do the interceptions, you better double loss it, like we talked about.
Don't tell me. Tell Chrome. If you think I do it a lot, Chrome does it 3 times. So don't talk.
No, I'm just saying. I told both of you. I didn't just tell Chrome. I said it right on the show. If you guys lose those anytime touchdowns or like the little, I'm not saying easier picks, but not game picks, it's got to be a double out. It's got to be a double out because there's a lot of bad quarterbacks. Like to throw interceptions.
I got the Eagles covering. Lock it up.
Nice. Well, we know that from 35-10, yeah. It's glorious.
The Commanders travel to Houston. The Commanders are 3.5-point favorites after winning the Super Bowl on Monday. The over-under is set at 41.
Give me Houston. No lock.
Give me Washington.
Houston might win that football game.
I was going to say, give me Houston in the upset. Outright.
Give me the Commanders lock. Greg?
Give me the Texans money line lock. Because you know what it is. Right?
Boy, Greg.
Letdown game?
No, not even a letdown game. They're just going to go lose, and then they're going to have to start talking about a quarterback controversy now that Carson Wentz is healthy. You know that's how it's going to go.
Listen, they can lose the next 3 games, and they shouldn't be talking about quarterback controversy.
I agree with you, but you know how it is.
If they're talking quarterback controversy, it's Heineke and Sam Howell. It's not the other guy.
Should be. You're right.
And I think Sam Howell sucks. That tells you what I think of the other one. Carolina traveling to Baltimore.
He was supposed to be first overall pick.
Well, the kid who replaced him at North Carolina will end up being one.
Oh,
you
my
can book
goodness.
that. You can book that. He might be the best quarterback in the country right now.
Carolina traveling to the Ravens. I think the Ravens are coming off a bye also.
They are.
The Ravens are 13-point favorites. Over under set at 41.
Yeah, it's hard to even touch this game in terms of like it's so many points. Like give me Carolina plus 13. I don't know how. No lock. Just it's a lot of points.
I have a lock on this. Give me the over. I have the over on that.
As a lock, Ralphie?
Yes.
Your boy's back.
No, well,
I think Baker's starting.
It's probably why it's 13 and not 10.
Surprised he doesn't have a concussion at their head button.
Ralphie, I was going to say the same thing. Ralphie. Very good.
Yeah, give me the Panthers. That's too many points.
Yeah, Panthers, no lock. Noah?
The Panthers cover. The Ravens win the game.
Detroit traveling to the Giants. The Giants are 3-point favorites. Over under set at 45. Give me the Giants, no lock.
Yeah, Giants. Giants, no lock.
I'll go under, but the Lions can't stop anybody.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Lions +3. Lock it up.
Ooh, okay.
Giants.
You really don't like that. You really don't believe in them.
Because how can you? I mean, it's literally the biggest smoke and mirror job by Brian Dable I've ever seen in my life. It's a tremendous job. He's done an awesome job.
He's so good.
I just don't. But the coach can't win for you all season. Like at some point, I've been saying this cute little story has to slow down a little bit, right? Like a little bit. Like they're not. There's no way they're what they're on pace to be. There's no fucking way. Not saying they're not a playoff team. I'm just saying there's no way that they're getting like 14, 15 wins. You know what I mean? Or even 12 or 13. Like. I still gotta believe they're around the 10, 11 mark.
Hold on. I'm gonna look at their schedule.
While you look it up, I'm gonna one up Tommy. I'm going Lions money line. Lock that up.
Wow.
Dude, I like it, Greg. I don't like that you're on the side of it, but I like it. Detroit can run the football, so if they commit to the run, we'll see how that game goes.
So what are they? 6-2, 7-2,
7-2,
7-2. Okay,
7-2.
So
this either Don now was going to love me or we get this.
No, you think they'll win? You said no.
Yeah, I think the Giants win, especially with them being at home.
So this is the remaining schedule, okay? So they have the Lions like we talked about this week. Then they go to Dallas. Then they come home against the Commanders. They're home against us. Then you have in D.C. against the Commanders, which is basically a home game. In Minnesota, back at home against Indianapolis, and then in Philly for the final week. That might not matter for us.
Or it might be for the division against the Giants.
Oh, Lord. That's nightmare fuel.
I know that's a scary thought.
Well,
but
looking at what they have ahead, there's not any, horrifying games for them. I feel like the Vikings and obviously against us are their two toughest games.
They get us twice, and they get Dallas, and they get Washington again, and they're every game is stressful for them. I mean, they haven't played a non-stress game all year, so for anything to be easy money for them, if you look at the type of games they played, everything comes down to the wire for them. So, that's getting the job done. Some of it's luck. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But, you got to feel that some of those games are going to maybe go the other way for them down the stretch, because they have been in a ton of one-possession games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next game.
Question. The Eagle-Giant game, the one in January, it's January 8th, right?
Yes.
Is that in the Meadowlands or here?
Here.
It's here. It's in Philly, the last game of the year, yeah. It's in Philly.
Call me crazy. I think that's going to be for the division.
Crazy.
Well, you said earlier, you said New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve from the Cowboys was going to be for the division.
Well, good. We're going to knock them the fuck out.
I love it.
We're going to knock them the fuck out. And then
we move on to the Giants?
Then wait a minute. Do we have New Orleans? Is it the Cowboys, the Saints, and the Giants? That's how we finish up?
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to knock them the F out also?
The hour and 25 minutes wasn't good enough for the Eagles, I take it.
I'm sorry?
No.
So am I.
No, you're the best.
Anyway, staying in New York, the Jets travel up to New England. New England 3.5-point favorites. Over under set. Get your popcorn ready. 38.
Give me the Pats money line. That's a lock for me.
Sissy.
Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets, man.
Yeah, give me the Pats.
Ted says if that's
lock.
for the division, that means we won't have the top seed.
Wait,
Not
3.5,
true, my friend.
3.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
The dirty hooker.
Give me the Jets as a lock.
Zach Wilson did say the last time they got beat by the Patriots that they'll make sure they're ready.
They're coming off a bye too, aren't
Look
they?
right into the camera.
New England, yes.
They're both coming off a bias.
I'll go Jets, no lock. Noah, Craig.
I took
the
New England, no lock.
Patriots. It's in Foxborough. Patriots will get them.
Chicago traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites. Over under set at 49.
Who thinks worse?
This is a very strange game.
What game is this, Ryan?
Just give me
Bears
Atlanta.
Falcons.
Just give me the Falcons. I don't know.
The Falcons. They have been. They are the cover gods. Yeah, give me the Falcons, please.
Bears. No
My only concern is can the Falcons stop Justin Fields running?
My only concern is can the Bears stop anybody?
Touche.
You know, I mean, listen,
Falcons. Give me the home team.
It's cool that he's playing well and he's doing a lot of big things for him, but they stink. It doesn't matter, and he's so young, it just doesn't matter. Like, he can run around for 100 yards all he wants, and they're going to keep coming out with losses because they really are atrocious. So Chicago hasn't been balling, Molly. Justin Fields has been balling. Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. He's literally like carried them to keep them in games by his legs. He really has. I think as he gets more comfortable, stay in the pocket a little bit more, but he's had a problem holding on to the ball too long. So now he's just like gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Everybody go for that game?
Yep.
I don't know if Noah did.
Noah?
Give me the Atlanta Mariotas. I don't know what the fuck it matters anyway. Both of those teams are dog shit.
Very true. Who's more dog shit? That's gonna be the question.
I feel like that could be the storyline for this game as well. You have the LA Rams traveling to the Superdome against the Saints. The Saints are 3-point favorites. Over under set 38.5.
Is Matthew Stafford gonna play?
I would have to say by the line, it doesn't look like Stafford's playing.
Give me the Saints.
Add another week with it,
and no more.
Give me the Saints.
I think the Saints suck. The problem is without Cooper Kupp, I don't know how the Rams
offense
score.
is horrendous.
I don't know how they score. They were the worst offense in the league with Cooper Kupp. Saints lock. I have no idea how they score. I have no idea how the Rams score.
Hey, Ted, check back in March. That's the answer to your question.
I love how Noah can see the chat now. Makes me so happy.
I know.
He's become self-aware.
No, Ted, there's been no really big moves. I mean, there was a trade today. I think the Blue Jays sent Carrasco
the Mariners.
Yeah, he's an all-star. So the Mariners got better today. So I mean, they've been doing that every year. But that's really all in the news. I know. I read somewhere that Rondon is a name circling here in Philadelphia big time. So be on the lookout for that. Dave Dombrowski did say today, just on some real quick baseball news. A couple pointers. Obviously, Harper's going in for the surgery. I would expect him, and I'm not a doctor, but I stayed at a few Holiday Inn Expresses in my prime. And what I'll say is that he'll be ready to hit by May. Maybe a little bit earlier than that. I mean, I wouldn't even need him to play the field this year. It would just be another him swing party. But Ohtani came back from the same injury, which Ohtani actually needed Tommy John. So they don't know if it's just you can go into the UCL and maybe not be Tommy John. So when the doc dives in, they'll know what they're working with, right? So either way, he'll be able to swing it by May. So, and we're waiting on Trey Turner or Alexander Bogaerts, or maybe both.
And I was hearing something that the Bogaerts is just a ploy to lure. Like, not saying they wouldn't take Bogaerts, but it's more they want Turner, so they're trying to play hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's just you should be interested in both guys. If you're a good, if you're a good general manager, you're going to do your due diligence on Bogaerts, who you've been around before, right? You're going to do your due diligence on Trey. You're going to do your due diligence on Carlos Correa. I mean, if you're doing it right, you're going to circle the board and do your checks and balances on all those guys. So, I mean, Don, if we got Correa, I'm not mad. You said you're all getting Correa, like
absolutely
okay. I mean, Carlos Correa, pretty good player.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, pretty good player. So I mean,
he's a winner.
I prefer Trey. But I'm good. I'm good. Just give me. But he did say, hey, we're looking at a veteran on the back end of our rotation or throughout our rotation. And he looks like he's going to give one of these young guys an opportunity to win that fifth spot. And I'm telling you who it's going to be because the dude's lights out. He's money. He's ready. 20 years old. I don't give a fuck about age. If you can play, you can play. And if you can pitch, we got so many bullets in the chamber anyway. Let the kid win a spot because he's better than the other two. He's better than Mitch McGreary, whatever the hell his name is. And he's better than Mick Abel, or I think it's Mick Abel. The other
Falter, they're probably looking at, and
that's cute. Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter should be your other left-handed arm out of the pen. I mean, that's where he should go. In all reality, and it's nice to have guys that can come start if you need them. But that's where he should. That's where he should go. So there's your MLB news circling.
Falter. The only way Falter's on the mound starting, and that's if somebody gets injured. That's the only way.
Yeah, which somebody would. You know what I mean? Right to your point, like somebody would.
Happen. We'll be there.
You need guys like Falter and listen. You still got a lot of work to do in your pen too. So I mean, you're going to need another left-hander out of your pen. You know, I'm really looking for a seventh inning guy that can close too. So I'm looking for that double dip guy. Listen, they got to be creative. That's why if you're asking me and you put a gun to my head right now, and somebody told me I was crazy, I signed Turner, I signed Bogarts, and I signed Rondon. And then guess what I do? I move Reese for some relief pitching. I don't even want prospects. I just want guys that are major league guys that come out of my pen. I don't want to move
while
Reese.
we're at it, let's get to Grom.
I don't want to move Reese, but I'll definitely move Reese if I got Xander and Trey, right? Then it's a no-brainer. But if I just get one, I don't want to move Reese because I need that pop, right? I do need 30-plus home runs in my lineup. It's a nice thing to have, even though, right, he showed that he's bad defensively, obviously, in the playoffs. But guess what? You know, he seems like a worker, so I'm not going to, run him out of town on an arbitration here either. But if I can make a deal and get sign those two, sure.
If you're looking at a comp deal, look at that Teoscar Hernandez deal as a comp. He's got 1 year left of his ability, on team control, right? You know what I mean? So, and Toronto got back a major league bullpen arm. Eric Swanson had a really good year for Seattle.
It's true.
So that's a good, if you're looking to run him out of town, that deal right there is something that you can look at as a possibility of what to expect from a deal. I
think you also have to bring.
You're spot on though with where you're thinking. If you do move him, you go get hey, just give me one bullpen arm. Give me a guy that I know can do it though, right? You know what I mean?
They've done it for a while. I need a guy that's got a track record. But the other thing is, and I know people might laugh at this, I don't care because I want as many bullpen arms that have done it over their career. But I probably bring David Robertson back on 1 year prove-it deal. Absolutely. I don't have enough back there. I do not have enough back there. I gotta bring him back because and then I can still maneuver and shake around him too. But I gotta be deep back there. I think our Achilles heel, we just lost the World Series because the other team was lights out in their pen. They had arms for days. And I'm not saying you're going to copycat them, but you need as many guys as you can get because Sir Anthony goes down. I need somebody else that can do it or has done it. And in defense of Robertson, he had a good year before he came here. I'm not saying he had a bad year here, but that's a guy that you can just it's a no harm, no foul type deal, right? You're not going to pay the guy a ton of money.
If you don't, I know this probably won't be popular for some people, but to me, if you don't get a splashy name in free agency for your third pitcher or even your second pitcher, and you go in with Painter, but you need that fourth starter, I wouldn't be mad if you brought back Syndergaard for a year. I wouldn't be mad at all.
No, I'm glad you said that name over the name I thought you were going to say.
I'm not Eflin. I don't want Eflin.
Yeah, I just think he's hurt too much, right?
Yeah, I can't.
I think he's hurt too much.
No, I can't do it.
Now, would Zach be willing to come back and change himself into a reliever? He's never going to be a back end of the pen guy, so everybody can fucking get that out of their head because he doesn't throw hard enough. But can he absolutely eat up 5, 6, 7 for you? Absolutely. And guys get paid a lot of money for that. He could really be I would bring back. I'm serious. I would bring back Eflin. I would bring back Robertson, and I'll pay them money to come out of my pen because I need guys. I can't just do it Alvarado and Sir Anthony all year. You run these guys down, and then you got to remember something. Those guys just threw a ton of innings this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And real quick, last thing about baseball. Credit to Aaron Noel because, knock on wood, but that dude's been flat out durable. Nobody throws more innings over the last 4 years than Aaron Nola has. I mean, guy just eats up innings. He really has, throughout the season. So, I want to throw him some love. I know he came in 4th in the Cy Young, and our boy who's been on A2D, Mr. Zach Allen, was 5th. So it was a top 5 finish. And obviously, the guy who won Cy Young deserves a Cy Young. He is filth. What do you want for him? I know Miami's always moving and shaking. What do you want for him? I'll give you a Painter for him right now. You can have Painter, McCreary, or McCreary. I don't even know his fucking name, nor do I care. And Mick Abel. Take them all. You can have all 3 arms. And I love Andrew Painter. I think he's a freaking top-of-the-line guy. But see it.
I'll throw up Reese Hoskins just because I'm feeling generous.
Yeah, he was giving everything. He was giving.
Okay, next game. We have
I'm sorry. I did look it up. Stafford still is in concussion protocol. So give me the I don't even know.
Saints.
Saints?
What is it, John Wolford?
Yeah.
And he's even hurt.
Yeah, I'm not even picking this game. I'm not even picking it. Just keep it moving for me.
You might want to skip this one next then. The Raiders traveling to Denver. There's some games where they should not be televised this week. The Denver Broncos.
They used to do that.
Well, might want to go back.
Yeah, they used to black them out if they didn't sell out
games.
Well, this might be the time just to be like, throwback week. The Denver Broncos.
Throwback week, yeah.
Yeah, shows how bad the Raiders are. The Broncos are favored. 3-point
by
favorites,
what?
3. And I know that's it's a pick 'em. Yeah, it's the home pick 'em. Over under is 41.
My lock.
Give me the Broncos.
Broncos money line is my lock. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know rhyme or reason besides him being home, and I have a little rhyme and reason. The Raiders are atrocious too. So
I so badly want to pick the under, but 41 is such a low over under.
Give me Denver. I'll lock Denver. Give me Denver.
This game is so bad, I'm not even gonna lock it.
Stafford only plays when his wife says it's all right. Where does Stafford heat come from?
Stafford's the man.
Maybe it's a Detroit fan chiming in. Hello.
Could be. I mean, there was a Justin Fields is better than Jalen Hurts, and I just breezed by earlier.
I love Justin Fields. There might not be anybody on A2D higher than on Justin Fields than me, but no, that is incorrect.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields has a lot of things to fix. So I'm not not high on him, or I'm lukewarm on him, to be completely honest with you, because he does have a lot of things to fix if he wants to be if he wants to be just a running guy. That's awesome. We see he's electric there, right? But you have to be able to throw the football, and you have to be decisive throwing the football. And that's my only question marks with him. Because at Ohio State, he can stay in the pocket for 5 days. You can't do that at the NFL level. And listen, we'll see if it's something he learns. I don't get in the whole he played at Ohio State so he can't play. I don't care where you go. Might not trust you out of Navy, right? But you know what I'm saying? But I don't care. I don't care where you play football at. I care about do I think you can play? And the only thing that worries me about guys like that is those guys, and you see with Stroud too, they have all day to throw for some reason in Ohio State's offense. So the biggest learning curve is, and what he's struggling with, is holding on to the football too long. Part of it's weapons, but part of it's just being decisive with your throws. So he's still got a lot of growing to do, but I don't think he stinks like a lot of people would say. I think he's gotten better, which is a positive sign if you're a Chicago Bears fan, for sure. For sure.
Noah, your prediction: Raiders, Broncos. Except for the both sides.
I think Josh McDaniels sucks as a head coach. Give me the Broncos.
Running mate. Yeah, so does his running mate and the freaking quarterback that cares more about freaking Sierra's pussy. I know where I was going with that. Maybe Sierra's asshole than he does and a picture. He loves pictures, loves seeing himself. So that dude's the biggest fraud in sports. But I still think Denver beats them because Miss Josh McDaniels. Just go back to Bill, babe.
Did you guys see the reason it came out why they're not going to fire Josh McDaniels? It's because they're too poor of an organization to do it.
Yeah, they're not in the position to fire another coach, right? They almost have to that point, right? They almost have to just let it ride out.
Have to let it ride. Yep.
Well, I think it's the best. I think it's the best thing for them if they bottom out because they're going to get a top quarterback. Derek Carr will be the future quarterback of the Washington Commanders, and it's hey, maybe we'll actually move on and maybe we'll get to 9 wins next year. So that's the best thing for them is they got to bottom out because if they can get a legitimate quarterback and eventually get a legitimate head coach, they have weapons everywhere else.
Yeah.
Next game, the Cowboys traveling to the Vikings. The Cowboys are 1.5-point favorites. Over under set at 47.5.
Cowboys are favorites.
I have a lock on this. Over on this game is my lock.
Ralphie, I almost want to go under. I can't figure out this game. Because I love like every week I put locks on both of these teams. So now they're playing together. Greg, no, I'll go last. I need a second to think.
Give me the Cowboys.
Give me the Vikings. It's going to be a close game.
Cowboys.
I feel like I need to put a lock on this. Give me the lock on the under. I'll go Minnesota, though. I'll go Minnesota wins. Put a lock on the under. Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh. Bengals 4-point favorites. Over under 41.
Line's weird. Give me Steelers.
Yeah, it's a really strange line.
Give me Cincinnati.
Why are they only 4? Why?
Well, no Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
Jamar's out again.
They're off a bye, but no Jamar Chase, right? You know what I mean? And obviously, you know what he does to that offense.
But this is what their third
they're on
game
the road.
without Jamar. I know, but I look at them like Jamar's really good, but they still have Higgins and Boyd. And
Yeah,
Mixon.
but I don't disagree. But Jamar obviously pulls the defensive, to him, and then Higgins and Boyd feast off of the scraps.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going give me a Cincinnati, no lock. Coming off a bye, you're the better team.
Yeah, give me Cincinnati, no lock.
Yeah,
I think the other
Bengals aren't
sides
getting
or whatever.
swept. The Bengals aren't getting swept by the Steelers this year. Give me Cincinnati.
Oh, that's right. That was
That's
their
another
week
good
1.
point.
Yeah, it's their week 1 loss.
Yep.
2 more games. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to the Chargers. The Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites. Over under set at 50.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Fucking weird game.
I feel so bad for Justin Herbert.
I feel so bad for my fantasy teams.
Oh man. Give me the Chargers. 5 and a hook. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, give me the Chargers.
And the reason why I say I feel bad for him, his coach sucks. He's throwing to DeAndre Carter because the other 3 are hurt. His tight ends are hurt, and half of his offensive line's hurt. Oh, and his defense, that was supposed to be the greatest of all time. J.C. Jackson stinks, and everybody else is hurt.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're the Chargers. So
Yeah.
this is what the Chargers do. But
Give me
I
Chiefs.
think they keep it close somehow. I think they keep it close. So maybe they're going to lose, but maybe they lose by 4.
I almost want to lock it, but give me the Chiefs. I think I already have enough locks. about 4.
Noah?
Chiefs.
Thank you. And
In a
finally,
route.
in a route. Okay. The 49ers travel to Arizona. The 49ers are 8-point favorites. The over-under is set at 43.5.
49ers.
Mexico City.
Oh, the Niners who?
That's the. Sorry, Tom. What was that?
Niners and who?
Arizona.
Cardinals.
I hate the freaking Niners. What's the line?
8 for the 49ers. It's in Mexico City, you said, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
I'm guessing Murray's going to play. His hamstring will be fine. I mean,
Kingsbury
Cole will be fine.
Cliffy Poo said Wednesday he'll make a decision on the Cardinals starting quarterback
So
for Monday's game later against. But there's been no decision.
Ralphie, it depends on where Kyler Murray's at on the campaign in Call of Duty, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Warzone just dropped today, so that's a no for Kyler.
All right.
Sean says, don't drink the water in Mexico City.
Definitely don't. You don't want that. Oh, that's not fun.
I'll go Niners. No luck.
I freaking hate Kyle Shanahan.
It's just that's a lot of points.
49ers.
I know. I just hate it. I don't like Kyler Murray at all. I am just like, you guys know me by now with this. I am anti Kyle Shanahan for a lot of reasons, because I think there's a lot of blowhards that like give him like too much credit. Like
This is definitely a hate the face game. This is a hate the face game for both.
Yo, big time.
Might not tune in. Like, might not tune in.
This is, I hope Red Zone doesn't show it. You know what I mean?
Well, Monday night.
Oh, no, this is Monday night. Yeah. Sorry. No, I corrected myself. I forgot we were on our last one.
You're right, though. That's that. Can Red Zone just ignore this game, please?
Yeah, sit this one out, guys. So, it's Monday night, Mexico City. Yeah, don't drink the water. Probably stay.
Don't even try to get cute and try and brush your teeth with it either. No.
Yeah, try to stay in big crowds. Maybe pack some heat.
Yeah. That was the last game, right?
Yeah, Platinum. That won't be out yet. By the way, I don't know if he's like trying to be funny, being like, "Oh, what's the over under 500 yards?" But if you're actually asking, the line's not out yet.
Yeah, it won't be out till Sunday morning.
And if you're joking, ha ha ha, that wasn't.
All right, so here we go. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got Joe Mixon. There's not a lot there. Give me Cole Kmet.
Oh, Jesus God.
And we'll go there. We'll only go three. We'll stop there.
Frank?
So that was Amon-Ra St. Brown, Cole Kmet, and where's my last one?
So good, he forgot.
Joe Mixon.
What's that payout?
I don't know. They don't have all of them released yet. No, it's just they only have a certain amount released, so I don't know what the payout is yet.
Frank, I hope you watched that because I didn't write it down.
That was actually an easier one.
Mm-hmm.
3 to see if maybe I get some luck. Usually it's that fourth one that kills me. When you try and get cute.
Greg got Jackson State. Greg ain't a Dion guy like some of us. We've had these conversations. Greg didn't want to turn FSU around. Greg was okay with.
No, I don't want to turn FSU.
I know.
I like it being a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Greg didn't want to turn it around. If he was the AD, he said, "Let it burn."
No, I'm worried about some of these openings. My guy Hugh Freeze might be, even though I hate him right now. We're not on talking terms, but he might be. I hope he doesn't go anywhere.
Does he know that you're not on talking terms?
Well, you lost to UConn.
I know, but does he know that you guys?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know.
Okay, just checking.
You come off, you beat Arkansas, then you go on the road and lose to UConn. UConn.
I didn't know if you sent him that email.
I don't know. UConn's improved this year.
Stop it.
They might actually go to a toilet bowl.
Well, yeah, because they just beat Liberty. Thank you.
Weren't they winless last year?
They weren't even a program last year.
On the way
what?
up?
Really?
I think so. They were. If it wasn't last year, it was 2 years ago.
See, Greg, they're on the way up. Then they're doing good. They exist.
Any big games on the college docket? Any monster ones? I didn't look.
Crazy. We're almost
done. Kind of been off.
I think next week is
college game day. Decided to go to Bozeman, Montana this Saturday. That should tell you something.
I think next week is State Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week's a little soft.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, when Alabama's playing Austin P. Yeah.
I can't believe this is like flying through like this. Like the whole
NFL
season.
Yeah.
Whole college season, the whole NFL season. It just felt like it flew through.
State.
Well, Tom, I think it's because of the Phillies run.
The Phillies. Yeah, no, of course.
Through. Which, of
course
course,
it
the Eagles waited until the first week where it was like exclusively Eagles season to lose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they did it where, like, not that they're going to bring us back, but, they also did it in a week where the Sixers, like, don't play. So, they win 2 in a row and then they get a month off,
It blows my mind that Alabama can just play anybody who they want in week 12 of the college. It just blows my mind, man. That's crazy.
Well, that's because they play in the SEC.
Well,
The same thing with LSU. I mean, they got UAB this week. I mean, come on, man. It's week 12.
Well, Bama's out of the playoff anyway, because LSU clinched the SEC West. So
I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they get in this year, but you never know. You never know how that goes.
I just hope TCU's that team, right? That might. That's all I'm saying. Like 1-loss TCU over 2-loss Alabama. I can see that being very easily Alabama.
Seriously?
Yeah, but they're going to take the
Alabama,
SEC
dude.
champion. They'll take whoever wins the SEC. They'll take them over TCU, and it won't be Alabama because Bama's not playing in the SEC championship game.
The SEC's never had 2 teams in the playoffs.
True, but I think they'll take the loser of the SEC championship game, and obviously, I think it could be Georgia and LSU go into the playoffs, along with probably
LSU would have 3 losses then. Now you're not taking a 3-loss LSU team over a 2-loss Alabama team.
Well, their third loss came in an SEC title game.
In the title game, right?
I think it's the eye test too.
If they lose to Georgia close,
that's what I'm saying too. I agree with Noah. Like if that's a dogfight, they'll give stock to that. I'm not a TCU guy.
Absolutely.
I'm not a TCU guy by any stretch, but if you have 1 loss and other teams have more losses, I think.
No,
I agree. That's where it should go. But we've seen crazier stuff happen.
Well, they want the powerhouse.
It's either that or it's going to 1-loss Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean,
could be.
So either way, it's not going to Bama, and it's definitely not. Well, as far as TCU goes, I mean, TCU will have to go undefeated.
Yeah, TCU's just got to stay undefeated.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You can make an argument. Don, come on. Well, you got to go there right now.
All right, let's get out of here. It's a great show. A2D Wednesday nights. A2D Wednesday nights. Don's the best. Hit the like and subscribe. Turn your notifications on. Stay with us for a while. We appreciate you. One of our sponsors is Araya Public Adjusting. Do you have damage to your home or property? Make sure you contact them. 813-564-3364. They're licensed in Florida, Pennsylvania, and 13 other states. Find out they're licensed in your area. And ArayaPublicAdjusting.com is where you can find them. They're also on all your social media platforms. You can DM them, conversate with them there, however you want to go about it. Also, our good friend Alan Foy of eXp Realty does a tremendous job. Obviously, he's been a big part of me moving, and he's tremendous. He does a great job. A plus communicator. I'm telling you, you can only do things by experience, right? And tell people, dude, if you're thinking about selling or buying, Alan Foy's the guy. Go check him out. Alan.foy@exprealty.com is his email. And you can also find Alan Foy over social media, and you can just send him a DM that way too. And we get a couple more and get out of here. We talked about Gleason's Bar and Steaks earlier in Levittown, PA. Sorry, you can use promo code A2D for 10% off your dine-in, takeout, or online order. As long as you're not using a third-party app, you get 10% off by using our promo code. And Baggio's Bakery, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, they got everything. Stuffed bread, sandwiches, desserts. Oh, my own. Go check them out. Again, another promo code for the people, A2D, 10% off your in-store purchase. That's Baggio's Bread. We are brought to you by FanUp. Well, real quick, we're also doing a tailgate November 27th at 2:30 p.m. That is the Eagles Green Bay game. So that's going to be, we hope, obviously it's going to be a big game. So we want people to come. $35 gets you into the HUD tailgate. You got Jello shots on tap. You got a watch party on the big projector, full HD. You'll have kegs on tap. You'll have specialty drinks, authentic barbecue. And you also get burgers, pulled pork, mac and cheese, smoked chicken wings, barbecue and garlic parmesan, hot sausage, pulled pork mac and cheese, baked beans, hot dogs, buffalo chicken dip.
Talk dirty to me.
Oh, you got Mediterranean pasta salad, garden salad.
There.
So $35, you get all that, and you get to talk some sports. So
Giddy up.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. So you can find that event right on Facebook. It is, let me get the event right, Hurts So Good Tailgate. So hopefully Hurts is so good. And right now, just on that alone, there's like over 60 people interested in the event already, and we're 2 weeks out. So I know we cap it at 160. So if you want to come join us, $35, and you get all that fun stuff to go along with it. We are brought to you every Wednesday by our good friends at FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Use promo code HUD. You get $50 at sign up. You can download FanUp right on the Apple Store. For No Eaton, for Frank Vespi for 10 seconds. Greg Moakovic.
He didn't get a word in.
No, not a word. Well, that's status quo.
I mean, yeah, kind of most Wednesdays. Love you, Frank.
Love you, Frank. Molly says real quick, I'm not even an Eagles fan. I might spend $35 on that. As you should.
Let's go, Molly. Let's go.
Ralphie D, Ryan Brodo, I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody in the chat, you guys were sensational tonight, like you always are. We appreciate it. And we love that. We love that the comments are scroll on the side. Everybody gets to see their comments. We get to see your comments. We love you all. Go Birds, as Frank would say.